Hey guys, so this is going to be some new content here on the YouTube channel as well as over on Twitch. What it's going to be is that we're going to be doing a D&D campaign in episodes every Monday 7:30 over at twitch.tv/Stone Terror, link right here. And we're going to be playing a campaign based in the world of Eberron. Eberron is a 1920s noir steampunk sort of world, but it's also going to be homebrewed a bit, which means it's going to have our own aspects of something that as a group we've decided is okay. We're going to be playing in the city of Sharn, which the easiest comparison is the city of Towers or Coruscant from Star Wars. The people who are going to be playing, there's 5 of us. There's 4 players and 1 dungeon master. So there's myself, Chris, who will be playing Edwin Claw Urson. There is Luke, who's playing Sam Shepard. There's Daniel, who's the DM. Andrew, who plays Diero Calabra. And Max, who plays Rick Flanders. So we all are different characters with different backstories, which you'll find as we play. And we are now part of a group that is exploring the world of Sharn, currently on a contract that is bringing us to the lowest levels of Sharn to go retrieve a maid from being kidnapped by Bob the Bobber. At least that's what we believe. That's kind of what the first episode goes over. From this aspect, I've played D&D for over a decade, and I want to bring that to you guys and have you guys see it, enjoy it, ask questions, and if there's enough interest, we would set up some sort of, one-shot campaigns to bring the community in. What to expect going forward is going to be an intro like this, where I recorded after the fact, give you guys a little bit of a spiel, then the video, which will be roughly about 3.5 hours, with minimal editing, and then it'll be episode based. So this is episode 0, episode 1 sort of thing, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I'm excited for you guys to come along with us. I'm excited to show you the world and the game that I've been playing for so long, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride and ask questions in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter link somewhere in here. Follow me on Twitch if you want to see this live Mondays again, 7:30 Central, somewhere in here. And like always, please like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube video. Leave questions, leave any sort of feedback, as we are going to try to grow and build this to be a little bit in a better setting. So all comments we will take and look at. Until then, enjoy the episode 0 of Forging the Cogs of War. See you guys later. Peace. Okay.
Yeah.
Time for the first inaugural. Yep.
And that's how we begin, folks. Welcome.
That's how we begin right
Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to our Dungeons and Dragons session. I am Daniel Brothers. I'm the DM. Thanks for Chris to do in all the stream stuff. Welcome to D&D. It's a game where a bunch of us people roll dice and pretend like we're somebody we're not. Everybody knows that. I don't know why I'm introducing that. Anyway, we're starting a new campaign, so I'm about to give the intro for my players as well as for everybody else. We find ourselves in the campaign setting of Eberron. It is a 1920s-esque steampunk style setting. There is a higher level of technology than in other D&D sessions. There are airships that fly throughout the land. There are Warforged, this race of mechanical being that were made for the last war, which we are just coming out of. A mere 2 years ago, this horrible war tore across the nation of Corvair, or the continent of Corvair. Breaking apart the nations and reassembling them in different ways, and generally speaking, being a bad time for everybody involved. The dragon-marked houses, these houses of power that lie underneath the government, also have had some strange movements about them. New houses being formed, like House Tarkin, and other houses being lost, like House Cannith in the large part. Now, specifically, we find ourselves in the city of Sharn, the city of Towers. It is these large, it's a metropolis of the land found at the hilt of the Dagger River. It is preposterously tall. It is complex, convoluted. There are, there's crime syndicates. There's all sorts of stuff. I'm just so excited to be here. But specifically for our adventurers, we find ourselves all converging on the Temple of Kol Karnath in I can speak. I have to remember the actual name because I've been calling it the wrong thing for the last 10 minutes.
Welcome
Kol
to
Karan.
D&D.
Welcome to D&D, where I look at a book. Kol Karan. So you find yourselves converging on the Temple of Kol Karan in Kornath. Well, I'll say for the sake of this, let's start with Diero. Diero, as actually, I'm curious, who do you think would be the first one to arrive here from where you guys are coming from?
Do you,
locationally?
do you have a map of the city that you can load?
Yeah.
Oh, do you want a map of the city? I could do that.
All I know is
where I'm landing.
Ranger Rick is
Yeah.
extremely punctual,
Well,
always on time.
hate to break it to y'all, but unfortunately for all of us, Samuel Shepard has access to the carts of the city, is therefore able to acquire transportation rather quickly.
It's true. As a member of House Orion, Sam Shepard, you likely find yourself here first. So this is the middle wards of the city. Let me pull the right map up so we get to the upper wards. There we go. This is the upper wards of the city. And Kornath is located in the central part of the city over here. The Temple of Kol Karan is this large, sort of weird pentagonal. It's connected to that tower in the district. And finding yourself there first, Sam Shepard. As you exit the House Orion designated cart, nodding to the driver as he sort of taps his little cabbie hat towards you and makes his way along to probably make some good money in the upper parts of the city. You find yourself a place you've never been before. The only place you've been here in the Central Plateau would be the Mithril Tower, or in the highest towers where you might have been dealing with some of the Crown's Guard and Sharn City Watch, as you sort of have recently become part of it. Although you've dealt with mostly your local watch. So to be here is sort of puts you on at ease, and you definitely are getting some strange looks from passerbys just for your a bit shabbier uniform, hand-me-down sort of thing. As you stand at the gates of this temple, the large spiraling towers with the coins stacked in between, you sort of look down at the small note that was given to you, telling you to meet a certain Lord Dungarin. Not so much other information other than Kol Karan, Karanath. What would you like to do?
Well, I guess seeing that this note on my desk appeared, I guess it's more of an order, so I might as well just get it done and over with quickly so I can go home. I'm going to approach this temple and see if there's anyone who can direct me to this Dungarin.
As you make your way towards the gate of the temple, there are two Crown's Guard, not Sharn's Watch, that stand there. One of them takes a step forward. Yes, welcome to the temple. Are you a worshiper of Kol Karan, or are you seeking something else?
Nah. Actually, I'm here to see a Dungarin. Would you be able to point me in the right direction?
Yes, we were expecting some adventurers here. Enter this way. And he takes you up the stairs and points you down the side. The entranceway of the temple is spectacularly gaudy. Everything is plated in gold, and just has like weird. It is ostentatious to say the least, and sort of shocking to you who comes from such meager means. Looking up at the way he points you, however, it looks to be a stairway that goes slightly downwards and to the left, sort of like the secret priest cabin way. Secret priest cubbyholes that are found in like say Notre Dame or a Catholic church. Just
Wow.
down and to the left, you will find a room. There will be a few others waiting there with you, and Dungarren will be there shortly.
Well, I mean, how long do you think it'll take? I mean, I'm kind of off my shift now,
He
or close.
takes a pocket watch out of his pocket, pops it open. Hey, you should be here in the next 10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes. I'll
Yeah.
have a sit.
After you, and sort of indicates you down and goes to greet other people at the doorway.
Make my way down, and I'll have a nice little sit and wait for this Dungarren.
As you make your way into this place, you see a few other individuals that are already there. A interesting looking, you think, human individual that is sort of got long white hair that is flared out at the back. It looks like it's almost been like hair sprayed in a strange flat way along the back. It's just sort of like looks too solid to be real. And there also is a pair of dwarves that both have large battle axes that sit beside them, and they are nearly identical in every way, except for one of these large, heavy-set male individuals has just sort of like a bright red beard, and the other one's beard is just solid black. Other than that, they are indistinguishable.
Sheesh, I always get the weird ones. Hey, how's it going? You here for this Dungarren guy?
Yes, I am here for Dungarren. Are you Dungarren? The white-haired individual speaks to you.
No. I'm not Dungarren, actually. My name's Sam. I'm here. I just got this note on my desk. Just figured we're all here for it since we're all in the same room. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do
Yes.
you guys know him?
No, but I do know his coin, and it's quite hefty purse.
Well, I get paid, I guess, a wage. So I hope he's paying me a hefty coin. I guess we'll see.
The dwarf turns over. Are you one of the guards?
Oh, yes. I suppose my uniform gives it away.
Well, I've never seen a uniform so simple before. You just, what is a guard doing here for mercenary work?
Well, I got a report that told me to show up, and I pull out my notes. Go see Dungareth here at the temple, on the Central Plateau, and so I had to go all the way across the city to come here. And honestly, I just want to go home and eat some dinner, but I guess, maybe I'm not supposed to be here. Maybe I'll just talk to Mr. Dungarren when he gets here so I can go home.
Yeah, that seems like a very strange roundabout journey you're going upon, don't you think, Grog? And he turns to his partner, or his twin, and the twin just sort of like nods once, makes no other noise.
I suppose so. Well, I'm just gonna have a seat over here. Yeah, let's wait for Dungarren.
At this point, walking into the room, you find yourself in this small, simple chamber, wooden folding chairs. Ranger Rick, you find your Ranger Rick and Sam Shepard in a room. You find yourself in a small, simple underground chamber. There's some folding chairs. For the sake of the player's mental picture, think of the room that you would have a Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in. It's that room, but instead there are two burly dwarves with battle axes, a strange, pale, white-haired individual, and also, would you describe your character, Sam Shepard?
My man Sam Shepard is a human, average build. He's I rather I guess you could say he's fit. He's not like shredded or anything, but he's like he could run a few miles and not get completely winded, climb a few fences, maybe even fight someone if he's so inclined. But his hairline is kind of in between short and not so short. It's like someone who had to cut his head recently, and it's kind of grown back over the last few weeks.
So a buzz cut.
Kind of, but like a grown in buzz cut.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm just
So
wearing
high and tight.
Right, it's grown back in, so I mean, as high and tight as it can be after like a month or two.
Okay.
And then, other than that, just wearing the simple guard uniform. Have like a little utility belt. Attached to that is a nice sword, a dagger, and on the other hip lies a rather light crossbow. Not like a hand crossbow, but a light crossbow.
And walking into the room, Ranger Rick, what do you look like?
Yes, Ranger Rick is a tall, majestic elf man. A strong stature of 6'3", long, flowing brown hair, in a nice, messy bun, some of it still falling down to the side. This man clad in leather armor, with a bow around his back,
Well, is he a
and 2
man,
daggers at his side.
or is he an elf?
He's a male elf.
An elf.
Man elf.
He is a male elf. He's got
Elf.
quite an intimidating presence, but yet you can tell there's a gentle nature to him.
So, walking into the room, this Melf. Take notes. The changeling or the white-haired individual turns to you.
Hey, are you the Dungarin that we seek?
Howdy. No, my name is Ranger Rick, and you are.
Just the white-haired individual
damn it.
sort of raises his hand up and hisses and just sort of turns
A
away
MILF.
from you. One of the dwarves turns to you and smiles. Hi, good to meet you. My name's Doric. This is my brother Grom. We're all waiting for Dungarin. We've been waiting a little while here. Seems like time is irrelevant for somebody of his class, I suppose.
Yeah, kind of how it goes with these people.
Are you from the city?
No, I don't get into town very often.
You had that look of somebody who's been in the. To be honest, there's dirt on your forehead.
Ranger Rick is just gonna kind of brush it off with the back of his hand.
There is, in fact, some nice loamy soil on your forehead that you brush off easily.
Ah, yes. Oh, I remember that trail. That was a nice trail.
Right. Well, hopefully sometime soon this man will come in. And as you're sort of gathering a conversation, meanwhile up top,
But they're after me, Lucky Charms.
after me lucky charms, Diero, as you're walking up towards, as you make your way in through the skyport, you land and find yourself in the highest towers where the sky ships dock. The words of that lizard folk gentleman ringing in your ears. You glance over, and through the towers, you can see this large temple, this spire that goes upwards, the coins stacked, and something draws you to it.
Well, that makes it pretty easy, right, Franklin? Talks to my owl. Well, I guess now we just have to get going there. And then I'm off.
And so the owl, sort of like perched on your shoulder, clambers up, sits there as you make your way, just, getting a lay of the land. You know that also that the university, as you sort of are disembarking from your map that you have, given to you by your professor, you glance over behind you and to the left. The university, you can see sort of just like the top part of the city just like split. There are some parks and many small roads connecting individual buildings back and forth, and it just has a very unified. The other districts you look at are just individual towers that are all random and sort of just like don't have a ton of continuity. As you glance over, the university district all looks like it was built with some some intention.
Aren't you excited, Franklin? Like it's such a big city. There's so much to do. I wonder what interesting people we're gonna be able to study.
The owl sort of like rotates its head to you and just sort of like cocks it to the side.
I know, right? Who? And we just start. It's like, oh well, I guess we got the agenda, we got the map, we got all our papers ready to go. Wonder who that lizard guy was. Anyway, I'm saying this as I'm like walking along.
Yeah. As you're making your way along, as you're making your way along, just sort of like curiosity more than anything. Something about the way this lizard folk spoke about it. Some knowledge he had that he just seemed to know so much about the world, and you gotta at least check it out. But as you make your way there, sort of standing in front, just sort of casually, you're not so out of place here. Your robes are finely made, and you are from a part of the world that is very uppity, generally speaking. So walking about this part of the city, the fine robed individuals walking past you, the assorted lawyers and merchants of coin and interest, the money lenders of the city. As you're making your way past them, they give you no heed, pay you no mind. And as you sort of like notice a couple of them staring awkwardly at this larger individual, Edwin, would you describe your character?
Right. So Edwin is a touched creature. So think werewolf, but less wolf. So technically the race would be shifter. So I have attributes of a werewolf. I guess that would be the easiest to explain. I'm a monk. So my clothing is more, I guess, flowing, I guess monk-like, and I'm 6 foot, so I have quite the presence, I guess, compared to the dwarves in the room.
Well, you are still outside as you're making your way up towards. You also would take note of Diero as you're sort of both approaching the front entranceway of this keep at the same time. What do you look like, Diero?
Oh, I got a nice kind of like light brown hair, really big circular glasses. There's just an owl on my shoulder. He's pretty cute and fluffy. A whole bunch of pockets, and there's like a book on my side. I kind of like look at this bigger person coming board, and I kind of just do the quick like wave. It's not really like I don't move my hand; just kind of put it up and then back down, and then I continue walking. I say to my owl like really quietly, like, "Oh, it's a shifter. I've always wanted to see. I'll take some notes on them. Their capabilities are just so extraordinary."
Ooh. And the owl's head turns entirely around, and Edwin, you note the owl's head turns around, like, although the Diero has this small human male has sort of walked past you, the owl's head is like locked eyes on you.
I'm gonna stare it down.
Oh, he likes you.
Make an intimidation check. The owl the owl sort of like head like still staring at you, but sort of like retreats backward, like when the owl's head can move back and forth. It's sort of like ooh. But as you sort of make your way there, the same Crown's Guard. Are you two here to worship the?
No.
So you're here for Dungarin then?
I believe so.
That's what it says in my notes.
Right. Oh, so make your way down, and it sort of indicates down this way. And as he goes, actually, and sort of turns as he waves, and you guys turn around to see who he's waving at. Making his way through the city street, this finely dressed individual flowing blue robes, just sort of making his way. The robes are cut in such a way that they are a little ostentatious. They have a few more tails than a typical coat would. Seems like some unnecessary additions of pieces of fabric here and there. It is blue, gold trim, and he's wearing just like very, very thin glasses. And his face itself does not match those thin glasses. His face is very like Midwestern farmer, chunky male. And just this sort of like strange conglomerate of things as he smiles upon the two of you. Well, you two must be some of the adventurers I sent out for. Is that right?
Well, adventurer, no. Bounty hunter, yes.
Well, certainly there's a bounty in it for you, and you look like a smart one. I definitely want you on this mission, unless, of course, you had something better to do with your day.
No,
well, just as long as I eventually get to read some books, if you're addressing me.
Oh, of course! He sort of smiles. What a cute little bird thing. Sort of like goes to like pet the owl.
He'll make a nice meal.
I look at your character and I just kind of drop my jaw. Franklin, no.
I'm sure you two will become the best of friends. Now, come with me. And he just walks between the two of you, sort of patting you both on the shoulder as he makes his way through and down the stairs and into the room. Makes his way into the room. Two of you, do you guys follow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of sheepishly holding Franklin closer now.
You made the right assumption, Daniel.
Yeah, I just wanted to be, it's like, I'm assuming, but like, yeah.
I trust issues already.
No, I'm just going to stand right here.
Actually, that was
30 minutes in. 30 minutes in. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to just go back to my house. This is good enough for me.
Yeah, I want to do my own campaign, just me.
Literally make you have to do a whole side campaign just for me.
That would be so bad. You guys make your way into the room, and immediately as Lord Dungaren enters, you two following behind, the white-haired individual, hey, yes, are you Dungaren? And the Dungaren immediately, yes, I am Dungaren. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate so many coming up to my simple bounty posted. Now, I understand some of you, most of you, I presume, are here for the coin. Simple mission. He does not pause. Simple mission. It's all you need to do down in the Cogs. You see the the Dask, these strange, monstrous individuals from the north. I don't know too much about them, but I do know that they've stolen my daughter's favorite handmaiden. Now, I don't know why they would do such a thing. It's not like she's a valuable hostage. I've got a feeling she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but I need a group of people to go down there, get her, bring her back, so my daughter will love me again. Is that simple enough for everybody? Everybody understand? 250 gold for you if you complete the job.
Each?
Yeah, certainly, each. I'm not a cheapskate. Come on.
All right.
Oh.
I'll go ahead. Is there any food on the table?
There are some old donuts. It does not look like they were provided.
And I will eat it. Is there an ale on the table?
No.
Oh.
There's like, you take a bite of the donut and it crunches. Like, these are very clearly donuts that were just forgotten after the last meeting that was held in this room. So you grab a bite and it crunches, and everyone just sort of stares at you as they hear the loud
tasty.
Oh, they're perfect for you, Franklin.
This would go good with a little bit of squab. Looks at the bird again.
Now the information I have for you is limited. I know that some one of the little tiny horrible looking creatures, some goblins broke their way into the home at some point. They looked a little bit, and he pulls out an artist's rendition of a goblin with just sort of like one ear half bitten off and one eye that's just an eye patch, and just sort of like this crazed look at its face. Something like this you'll find. I mean, from what I've done a little bit of research, or at least one of my compatriots has done a little bit of research, the Cogs deep at the bottom of the city, you'll find an entryway actually at the bottom of Central Plateau if you want to go the safer route. Something, there's, I don't know. Figure it out. Bring her back here. I'll be checking in every day. Come around this time. Let me know when you guys make it.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Good. Everyone good? Got what they need to know? A couple of the dwarf. Actually, I was just, and the changeling. Well, I think that, right, perfect, great. Have a good day. And he immediately turns tail and exits.
Well, all right then. Well, I suppose this is a job for the god, like myself. So don't feel that you all are inclined to, I guess, fight this man's battle for him. I can round up some people.
Oh, quiet little man. And I'll proceed to just readjust my backpack and head on out.
Whoa!
Be like,
whoa.
Birdman, come with me. And I look at Diero.
I have like a name tag written out now, like that from my notes. I just ripped out a scrap of paper, pinned it to my pocket, and said, "Well, we should all get to like know each other." I'm Diero.
We got a
There's
long
There's
way
no
to
time
go.
for that.
Oh, okay. I'm following
and then-
Edwin now.
Rick is also going to stand up and just start heading out.
Well, I mean, I think it's just sort of following it behind the other people now making their way out sort of awkwardly and like not like a group but in sort of more of a long line. One of the dwarfs as I lost my page. Okay, one of the dwarfs popping up to you, Diero. I actually quite like the idea of the name tag. Do you have another sheet of paper there?
Oh, yeah, of course. And I give him like a paper or a pen, quill, and a little pen too.
Okay, so he sort of writes out a couple of things on the paper, tears it off. Hi, you can call me Doric. This is my brother Grom. And he puts the paper Grom spelled Gromm with an M.
Gromm. Spells it with one M.
it just didn't register. Doric and Grom. This fellow here, what was your name? I didn't quite catch it.
You may call me Nephestus.
Nephestus. All right then. I'm gonna call you Neffy.
If you call me that, I will rip your throat out and eat it in front of you.
Well, that sounds awfully kind of you.
I like Neffy. All right, let's go,
Don't
Neffy.
call Neffy. I'm writing down.
Grom just
I'm
sort
gonna
of
call
like
you
laughs
little one.
once.
And your creepy one, your bird one, and I don't know what to call the other one.
The other one looks just like the one you called little one.
Thing
Or
one,
are you
thing
talking
two?
about the dwarfs?
Yeah.
Thing 1 and thing 2.
Oh, that's a bit rude there.
I've got the name tag right here. You can see it. Or is it that shifters can't read? That's what I heard.
He's the shifter.
there's like crunching from my owl, still eating the donut. In the
Doric
silence.
sort of like Doric sees. I mean, I'm just joshing you, sir. I'm just trying to have a bit of a rapport happening here, just a little bit of rabble rousing. He clearly didn't think it was funny. Grom says. Shut up, Grom.
Is
Alright.
the other guy just gonna keep walking?
Yeah. Try to keep up.
Oh, well.
Well, if y'all are gonna go out there, I guess I should help protect you. I suppose I'm trained for this sort of thing. I was kind of follow along quickly.
Oh, what's
We're
your
all
name?
trained for this sort of thing. That's why we're here.
Oh, I don't know any of you, to be fair. So I have no idea of knowing that. But as you can tell from my uniform, that I myself actually am trained for some light combat.
Oh my lord, do we need a whole life story? Let's go.
Well, I've got a question for you, Mr. Guardman. How long have you had that uniform?
Well, like a month.
Right. Hey, Grom. Yeah. How long have you had that axe of yours? About 27 years. Ah, me too.
Well, geez. Well, I've been alive for 24 years, so I've known my weapons. I hold up one fist, and my other weapon, I hold up my other fist, for about that long.
The two dwarves glance at each other, glance back. Oh, so what you're telling me is that our axes are older than you are.
And not as elegant.
The both of the dwarves immediately grab the axe, and then both of them immediately grab the other's arm to stop the other one from grabbing the axe. No,
Okay, I
stop.
kind of like these little ones now.
Right. Well, if you never made your way down to the, have you ever made your way down to the Cogs then?
Well, me and myself, I'm from Sean, so I've been around, yeah.
You would have made your way down to the Cogs a few times in your former life.
Indeed, yeah. Cogs is a place that I've been quite a bit.
While I enjoy these conversations, are we just standing around or are we moving?
Oh, we're moving.
We'll say these conversations are as you guys are walking along and sort of awkwardly. There's a lot of awkward moving forward in the line and going backwards. There's a lot of chance for cross conversation and individual conversations.
Ranger Rick is marching ahead.
Do you say that?
Do you
The white
say
hair-
that?
No,
As
I
you-
did not say Ranger Rick in the third person.
You said it in his voice, so I assume.
Yeah, that's the
Ranger,
whole.
Ranger Rick.
The white-haired individual goes up to you, Edwin, and just in his weird rasping voice,
I believe I have seen you around before. You make your home somewhere in Tavik's Landing, is this correct?
That would be correct. Yeah.
What do you do? What is your profession?
I fill out contracts.
I see. That is good to know. It is good to
I
know
hunt
somebody
them.
of. You hunt them.
Normally, my contracts are people or things that have gone missing, people that need to be removed.
Oh, you hunt
maybe
things too?
hurt.
A hunter of bounties, then.
No, I'm a book hunter. I'm basically a glorified librarian.
What? Who are you?
I am Nephis.
Oh yeah, Neffy. Yeah.
the hair sort of brings up just a little bit, the hair, you know how a cat's hair stands on end? His hair kind of does that a little bit.
How tall is he?
Which is he's a good 5'7".
Oh, he's a small boy.
He's pretty short.
I'm not gonna pat him on the head. I rolled to see if I was gonna pat him on the head.
Okay. As you glance at him, the urge passes you. As you make your way down from the upper layer of Ishiarn in the Central Towers District, boop, 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 you make your way down into the middle wards through the Ambassador's Towers. As you make your way through this district, you note there's it's a lot more busy. There are a lot more younger people here. The upper district was all sort of filled with that, older than 30s, it's the equivalent of boomers. The upper district is all boomers, basically, if we're going to be honest.
Oh my lord.
But in D&D world. So, yeah.
You can keep describing. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. But so Ambassador's Towers, as you make your way down through this district, oh my gosh, it's just so busy. You see a lot of people that are just similar, actually very similarly to you, Diero. There are a lot of people in sort of just a loose fitting robe, sort of comfortable, but very modern stylings. Not complicated, but hip, but not like designer. As they're making their way around, some of them with stacks of papers, other of them carrying newspapers. You see there's actually an newspaper like stand there. Get your Sean Daily, get your Sean Daily, get it here, get the news quick. As you guys are making your way along, yo, get your news quick, come on, get it. It's like,
Could I grab one?
yeah.
Hey.
Do you have? Yeah, 2 silver. Come on.
Well, here's a gold. Could I get some change though?
Grabs the gold, fucking goes through his pocket, grabs out. He has one of those like little coin things on the side.
Quarter dispensers.
Yeah, but I mean, it's coins, so since it's a coin economy, pops out the 8 silver in change, and also chucks you a Sharn Daily. The title page of the Sharn Daily says in big bold letters, Tarask destroys Karunda's gate.
Oh, that's such a shame. Why would that happen?
Found dead on the scene alongside 2 ancient dragons, heads removed. Current thoughts, dragon marked House War looming is sort of the House War looming is the secondary title. That's on the main page as you're walking along trying to read it.
I'm kind of like showing Samuel Shepard, but I don't know Samuel Shepard's name. They're supposed to say, "Oh, have you seen this yet? I didn't quite catch your name, but there's some pretty bad things. Yeah. Do you want a name tag?"
No, I'm fine. I don't need a name tag. My name's Sam. Should be easy to remember. Yeah, I guess you could say that tensions are rising here, like a little bit. I mean, when you hear about a whole city being destroyed, it's kind of like, ooh, it could happen to your city too. So we've been getting some presentations, some like briefings on what to do if like a Tarask level event affects the city. Honestly, though, I mean, how can that possibly happen without someone noticing?
It's a real shame.
Are you sure you're cut out for this? I mean, you can go home.
Oh, I'm quite qualified. I actually come from the Defenders Guild. It just, yeah. I'm qualified. I have papers for it.
All right. I guess.
Papers don't do you much good when swords start swinging.
Oh, that's why I got my owl here. It'll do enough. And actually, things get real bad, I'll just disappear.
Probably smart. You should leave the fighting to the fighters.
I will support you from afar. I give them like a thumbs up.
As you guys are making your way, sort of talking a little bit strategy with your new group, ramshackled together. I gave you a bit of benefit of the doubt. As you make your way through the last part of the Ambassador's Towers, as you descend your way down, you see a large open platform that's been built between 2 towers. It's sort of a announcer's square. There's a large clock in the background of it, and at the front there is a gallows where a gentleman is hanging. There are people watching. It looks like it has just happened. And as you're walking by the 2 dwarfs, oh well, looks like another one's been slain. Good riddance to him.
Another one?
Yes, there's been dealing with the necromancers over in the stone. I'm learning. So I, as a DM, am learning all the names of the city that I would like to be able to say really easily, but I can't because I still have to check everything. Over in Holdfast, there's been a necromancer dealing with some things, and this looks to be one of his compatriots by the robes on him.
Good riddance.
Hey, good riddance to him indeed.
Yeah. We don't like those people. Good way to go. Being dead.
Oh my.
As you guys are making your way down, you all, not you all, Ranger Rick, you wouldn't know this, but I'm going to say it because, actually, no, I'm not going to say this because you guys, I want to drop lore, but I've just ruined how to drop it. I'm going to drop it anyway. The most crimes in the city are either, if you're not fined for it, if it's not like something you can pay a fine and get off with it, there's not really a prison system. You're either fined or you're hanged.
You're removed
usually
from the equation.
is usually the way crime goes. Fines are much more common, and for most crimes, it is just a hefty fine that sort of just looms over your head and makes it difficult to do anything official. But for the most part, there's not like a prison if you've done something especially bad. You probably will get hung. Which I'll say for the sake of this is what Nephistus says, just sort of like,
Yes, I have had many friends go this way.
Excuse me, what?
You had what? Hold up. You mean to tell me that you've known people, you associate with those who are currently in line to be hanged? Are you yourself a necromancer?
No, I am not no, not that.
he sort of like shakes his.
No.
I would assume, sort of indicating to you, Edwin,
That somebody who is of a race so pursued might have some sympathy for one of my kind.
and his face, just like to demonstrate, his hair changes from white to like short curly brown and just like green eyes, and just sort of changes into a very like cutesy sort of like young boyish face, and then changes back into this white haired visage.
Does this mean anything to me?
You would recognize him immediately as a shifter, not a shifter, as a changeling. I wish those names weren't so similar. As a changeling.
I was about to say, he's not a shifter, because I'm a shifter.
Nope, he shifts, but he
No, he
he
changes.
changes. I hate that.
There's changing and there's shifting.
Look,
Look, it's very different. But it's similar in the sense that we are both of groups that are not looked up upon by the City Watch.
as he glares over towards Sam.
Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ, that was disgusting. That please don't do that in front of me again. Not anything against your kind. It's just, oh God, I just don't really see that every day.
What is wrong with changeling shifter? What's going on here?
I look at Neffy and just, Neffy, normally I just simply remove the people who look down upon me.
Yes, well, we not all are so skilled with that ability. And as to you, Mr. What was your name, weird forest person?
Oh, this is Ranger Rick.
Ranger Rick.
Yes, Ranger Rick. You, the city, there are groups that are haves and there are groups that are have-nots. And regardless of how much you have, if you are in the wrong group, you have not.
And then there's the City Watch.
And you have not. I'm like trying to take notes.
If you live in the forest, no matter what, you can have. This is what I've been saying all my life. Gosh darn, city people are batshit.
Yeah, you ought to be saying it to city people. Forest people do not need to hear it again.
So, are we?
Let's
okay?
keep moving. As Grom sort of just brushes through the rest of you guys, making his way further down into
How
the
far
city.
would you say the cogs are from where we are?
Since you're just going straight down, you guys are roughly you've marched about 30 minutes and sort of are making your way down through Ambassador's Towers. You've got another 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how long it takes you to find the entrance.
God, 45 minutes. Can I hail like a cart?
Yeah. As you sort of reach your hand outward, question that I haven't clarified: where is your dragon mark?
Dragon mark is on it's kind of like a shoulder, like my right shoulder. It's kind of like a
So
like on top of the
cliche.
shoulder, like on the arm.
Okay. So as you reach your hand up, you guys watch as just sort of
Typical.
generating from the generating from the shoulder, the spiraling arcade sparks just sort of whip around his hand,
Hello,
and it
Rock.
just sort of like snaps once in the air, and it just sort of cracks out like a whip, and one of the many small carts that is being driven about the city by a smaller breed of horse than what you might be used to, Ranger Rick, sort of more of a pony, makes its way up and sort of stops. Oh, there. All right, can I help you out with some sort of transportation? You're there. House Orion, welcome, welcome. Is these your people? I might need to get another cart by if you want us all to be traveling.
Yeah, you might need to get another cart. Oh,
All right.
hold up.
Wait, we're in the middle level of Sharn, right?
Currently.
Would I have any more knowledge of this area to continue moving down, seeing as I live in this level?
So you live in Middle Tavix Landing, which, although technically on the same level of the city, is not here. Like you're in Central Plateau. Is it Central Plateau? Yeah, you're in the Central Plateau, which is not your jurisdiction. Like this is like a whole different. I mean, it's the equivalent of saying that Brooklyn and the Bronx are the same thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So this is like a little out of your wheelhouse. Although you are familiar with, like, generally speaking, how long it takes to get up and down, and it's not like you guys are lost. It's just you guys got another, hour or so of walking probably to make your way through.
Yeah, I say we all pile in here so we could, I guess, conserve our energy. It'll also just generally be quicker. I don't think it can hold all of us. So I just want to say I point at the arrow. I point at Ranger Rick. I point at Edwin. He's like, hey, yeah, y'all can pile in here with me, and the next cart will come around.
Convenient.
Grab a lot of you.
I wonder why you picked the three of them. Oh, sort of angrily, the dwarf man sort of
Because we're not trying to steal your lucky charms.
That's what I call plot device.
Nice.
Ooh, as the man, well, don't you worry about a thing, and snaps, and he also, from the palm of his hand, he snaps, and just the sparks fly up, and another cart immediately pulls up from behind, as the side characters cart, as the three of them, those worthless NPCs, make their way into the cart behind.
And on the way there's this freak tragic cart accident.
What? All three of them just destroyed, just like totally wrecked. No, you guys are the worst.
Right? Are we taking a cart to an elevator? Isn't that what's happening right now? Because there's no roads that lead in between the levels.
Well, I believe that there may indeed be.
There are
freight
roads that lead between the levels.
Oh, my apologies.
Yeah.
I thought that there was elevator systems.
Yes and yes. There are both. There are roads and also elevators.
Yes and yes.
Yeah. There are roads and elevators. As I'm doing one other thing that I thought there was going to be some more time there, but there wasn't, so I'm going to just do this really quick, and then you guys can deal with it. Do.
You good?
I'm doing something on a different tab that is necessary.
All right.
I thought you were going to say
Now,
Nazi.
as a member of the City Watch, I must remind you all to buckle your seatbelts. The roads can get pretty bumpy. Wouldn't want you falling out. Nah, it's a closed car. You won't fall out. The doors are secure. Trust me,
Huh.
I've written these thousands of times.
So you guys all cram.
Just
You guys all cram into this small place. The
Not
doors are
amused.
quite secure.
City Watch.
Mm.
That is, in fact, myself. I am a member of the City Watch.
Yeah. We know your humor shows.
Thank you. I try working on it, the public relations and all.
Yeah, you should probably keep working on it.
It's constantly developing skills, some people might call it. So I'll always be working on.
As long as you make
Occupied
your
in my book.
All right, Elf, or sorry about that, Owl Boy. What's with the owl again?
Oh, he's my friend. He keeps me company, and he sees better than me, and he's just around.
Hey, it's a tasty snack when we really need food.
If you try eating him, he kind of just vanishes.
What?
What?
Oh, watch. Franklin, go.
Franklin immediately
Franklin, go!
just like raises both of his wings up and goes whoo and just disappears.
Oh God, what? What did you do to him?
Oh, Franklin, I'm back.
And just immediately in like the same pose, whoo, appears back on the shoulder.
Oh, I see. I
I'm not
see.
just bird boy.
You're-
I'm a magic boy.
Yeah, you're one of those magic people. Okay, I see now.
If
Oh.
my giant magic book didn't give that away, I'm a wizard.
Well, I mean,
Nerd.
I'm a hired killer.
Hired killer. Oh my god.
Frankly, this is why I just keep to my books. I don't like talking to people.
Hey, nerd.
You try to eat my
Frank-
owl. Who does?
Franklin nods and just sort of like stares over at you, Edwin, and uses his feathers to like do the like eye point, like points his eyes, points back at you. You've never seen an owl work like that? Like you weren't aware owls had like control of their feathers like fingers.
Damn.
So you're just like, you stare back at it and the owl stands firm and just sort of like, whoo. Like, come at me, bro.
Interesting.
But as you make your way down through now in a cart, the hour or so of travel being reduced to about 10 minutes. As you make your way down into the base of the city.
We're moving fast. We're thumbing.
Yeah. You make your way, and as you hop out of the cart, the person just sort of like smiles, nods. Have a good journey there, fellow Orion member.
yes. Thanks for the ride.
Sort of nods. The cart in the back, sort of like being driven by just sort of like a grumpy-looking, like gnomish individual who's just sort of sitting there, and it's like you see them arguing with the two dwarfs and the changeling over just like, well, no, we didn't actually. He got the cart for us. We were following him, and we don't have to pay. You gotta pay up, or I'm not opening this damn door.
Hey, they're right. They're with me. Hey, I kind of like my tattoo.
He looks at you, sees a tattoo. Are you in the cart with them?
For all you know, I could have been.
You think I'm a half-rate taxi cab driver? You think I don't know who's in my car? I just watched you get out of that car. Hey, Greg, how you doing? The other guy's driving by. You think I'm just... Who do you think you are? They owe me 2 copper, or they ain't getting out of my car.
Oh, all right. Tell you what. I look at the dwarfs and I look at the changeling. I guess I will spot you this time.
Send him other way.
I
It's rid
can't.
of all the side characters.
I pat my pockets. Ah, geez, guys. I must other uniform. I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll figure it out.
The dwarf grub, just sort of like grumpily without saying a word, pulls 2 copper out of his beard and hands it to the man as the door magically swings open.
Pleasure doing business with you, you chintzy dwarf.
And puts the copper in his little pocket. Yeah! And the ass that he has been driving just sort of like clops along.
The ass that he's been riding just claps along.
It's
Yo,
funny because it's not actually an inappropriate sentence.
I was gonna say, is that what I just heard?
Technically, not a bad sentence. Technically.
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 Yeah. So, I'm trying to figure out who it is.
So where are we at
There.
now?
So currently, you guys, looking as you sort of like get out and sort of not a familiar place, you guys have found yourself in the next district down. Boop 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 boo to the back. The Maishan Gardens.
Whoa.
immediately around there are sort of the lights here are strange. It's almost like daylight. There's lots of orbs that are sort of glowing around in the area, and they're quite golden in how they glow. Most mage lights are sort of that, horrible like limelight, sort of like pale green sort of thing almost. But this is like a warm sunlight that's glowing around. And there's an assortment of different like tropical looking plants and vines that sort of grow up and around the bases of the towers here. You see there's an assortment of shops off in one corner at the base of one of the large towers. There's a little bit of a market district set up, and you also see just the pathways here. I mean, you're on the ground now as you're making your way around. It's a bit dirtier, but it's still Central Plateau. It's still fairly nice. It's well lit. And there appears to be a humble amount of people making their way around. Right, so I must confess I've never really been this low on a Central Plateau before. You guys know where you're headed?
Oh yeah.
Nope.
I have a map if that helps anybody.
Go ahead
Ranger
and
Rick's just gonna reach out, grab that map.
Ranger Rick, you reach out, grab the map. It's a little confusing just because of the way it's folded, since it's for a layered city. But go ahead and make a survival check on the map, just to see if you can figure out. Looking at the map, it's a little confusing, I will admit, but there is clearly, okay, so you see this level, you can figure out that there's levels, and the level you're on, and then there's a level below it, and it's labeled Cogs, that's where you need to go. And like trying to do like you're like holding it up and like moving it back and forth, like flipping through the page. There's a couple of like individuals at the market that sort of glancing over at your very strange looking group. So just like a little confused. But yeah. In fact, one of the individuals, sort of an older woman, sort of like walks up. I don't mean to assume that you're from somewhere out of town, but
I'm trying to read this map.
Oh, she sort of just like,
excuse me, miss.
So looks at, are you kinder than your friend here?
More respectful.
Oh, that's something. That's a sound for sore ears. Now, are you guys lost, or are you just going to keep staring at the old tourist map before you try and figure our way? Where are you trying to get to there, Sonny?
We got to get down one more level. We're trying to get to the Cogs, I believe.
She gives you a bit of a glare. And what business have you down there?
We're fulfilling a contract.
Gives you a bit of a look. Make a persuasion check. All right. Well, you don't seem too dishonorable. There's some bad people down there. There's some very bad people.
Oh, we know.
Right. Well, if you need to get, there's a sort of like she points over a way. There's a staircase down as into the. Look at the name of the thing. Down into Kaiba's Gate. If you go over there. She indicates around one of the large towers. Just around the tower at the base, the pathway will start to gradually go downward, and before you know it, you've taken the wrong turn and found yourself beneath the city.
That sounds like the right turn to us. And I'll just start heading off that direction.
She's sort of just like this. Ranger Rick, as you sort of like are staring at the map, Diero sort of as well. You guys glance up and notice the rest of the group is now like 30 feet away from you, walking around a corner.
Oh crap!
Oh, we gotta catch up.
So you guys rolling up afterwards.
Thanks, ma'am.
She just like flips you the bird and walks away.
I point to my bird and I.
So as you make your way even deeper into the city, this strange little garden district that sort of is overgrown and unkempt, but still gives you a sense of refinement, a sense of completion there. And down deeper, the lights shift from mage lights into torch lights, into just sort of open fires here and there. There's a thick smog of smoke as you make your way down around the base of this tower, and this path spirals downward. You see some individuals standing around some of these fires. You see a few gnolls that are sort of and talking back and forth to each other in gnoll. A couple of goblins sort of hanging around, sort of tossing back and forth, ripping apart a rat that they're sharing around the fire. You see a small market stall just like sort of filled with bags and garbage and refuse. And this very obese ogre sits behind it and just sort of watches as you pass along. You guys find yourselves in the cogs of the city. This is about as much information as you were given.
Oh, all right, folks. Just stick close. There's some rather shifty fellas. Oh God, I don't. You know what I mean. Unsavory folk down here.
The changeling gives you a bit of a glare as well.
Oh well, we just have to find I'm nervous.
Yeah, are you sure you don't want to go home, guy?
I'm good. Do we have?
You'll be fine, buddy.
We just need a tractor, right? I'm really good at investigating things, I swear.
Well, we do have this one picture of a goblin. The Doric sort of takes a couple steps into the middle of the group as you guys are sort of congregated to sort of figure out your battle plan. I suppose we could ask around and see if anybody's heard of him.
Oh,
I suppose that could be the best course of action, unless anyone else has anything to say.
I don't suppose anyone has connections to the Dask.
is that a book?
No, that is the criminals who have taken this woman.
Nope.
Have I had run-ins with the desk?
Make a history check.
Right. Nope.
Most of your jobs have been, criminals in the midst of Tavik's Landing. Nothing, of the Dask. You're familiar that they're sort of a bit more thuggish. They've brought something called Dragon's Blood into the city, which is a horrid drug that just it gives you like an intense feeling of power while sapping the strength from you. It's sort of been ravaging the lower populations. You've dealt with some Dragon's Blood before. Individual hopped up on it that you actually had to like subdue, but you don't know too much about the Dask now.
Also, is there an updated map?
They're
Just curious.
No,
So-
there is. I just have to. I wasn't. Yes. Second.
There's goblins around us.
There are goblins around you.
Oh, but you can't assume all goblins know each other, Ranger Rich.
So I'm just gonna kind of shout out in goblin. Excuse me, I am looking for this person. Does anyone know where this person is? That'd be very helpful. Thank you.
Make a persuasion
Hey,
check
y'all.
with
Hey y'all, I'm looking for this person.
I'm Ranger Rick.
My name's Ranger Rick,
My name is Ranger Rick, and I am looking for this person.
and I approve
if you
this
have
message.
any information, that would be very helpful and appreciated. Thank you.
As you sort of say this out, three of the goblins that were sort of passing the rat on sort of glare up and sort of stare at you with wild eyes. The gnolls sort of glance over and just sort of like they glance for a second and turn away. There's a couple of passerbys, sort of like downtrodden humanoids, just a couple of downtrodden humans, sort of passing by, sort of like give you like the cold shoulders they walk by. That's nobody else gives you any sort of response.
Rick, you're probably gonna have to buy this information. Just gonna go out on a limb here and say that we're in the part of town that we're gonna need to pay for everything that we do here. And with that, I'll pull out 3 gold pieces.
Oh,
And just so you guys know,
You could buy a book with that.
you guys are standing at the middle of a street.
Edwin.
Now,
Maybe we should try to find a tavern or something, like some kind of congregation point where these
a
people
library.
like to
Yes.
congregate. No one goes to a library. No, we're not going to a library.
Face to face of pure depression.
You are wrong, Ranger Rick. You are right. I say we canvass the area, look for a kind of seedy joint, and see what they know. I like the idea of buying information, but we'll see if we can talk it out of them first, and then we'll bring out the coin.
Preferably a place with some live music, just because I could really go for some of that right now.
Hey,
Well,
Sam, you should you should probably change out of your outfit or if you got a cloak or something, because City Watch, lower levels of
That's a very
Sharn,
good point.
you're gonna stand out like a sore thumb, and no one's gonna want to talk to you.
That's a good spot, Edwin. Good spot.
Well, yes, that is. I do agree that perhaps my outfit would not make me a very liked person around here. Unfortunately, I just came from work.
Turn it inside out.
So,
Well, you should probably figure that out or head on home.
well, I will not head on home, but I will just well,
You
let me
could
see what
roll in some dirt.
I would prefer to not get dirty. Let me see what I can do here. Can I just like roll up my sleeves? Is there like an insignia?
I don't know.
Can I just roll up my sleeves?
So you have probably the cheapest guard uniform that the city has. It's a tunic and it has like a pin. You can easily remove the pin and you can like roll up the sleeves to try and make the cut look a bit different. It is a fairly basic guard uniform, so with the pin removed and the sleeves rolled up, it would not withstand close scrutiny, but for walking through, like people probably won't just like point out and be like, gasp, a guard.
Yes, let me just take off my badge here, put it in my pocket, and now I shall roll up my sleeves.
Oh, well,
All right.
I really recognize you.
I believe now that I am what
Hey,
some
where'd
need
Sam go?
to- Yes. Whoa.
He's right there.
He must have a master disguise kit with him. Unbelievable.
I can't believe that he looks like a whole new person with his sleeves rolled up.
Yes. Now, for canvassing the area, I'll take a quick look around. Let's take a look, see where does it look like these vagrants are going to.
Yeah, so go ahead and you just get to do that. That's cool. So as you guys sort of like watch Sam roll his sleeves up a bit foolishly, he does then immediately glance around and with an expert eye sort of glances down around a couple of the bases. It's not so much towers here so much as it is foundations that have been carved between. And he sort of like glances over, walks a little ways, takes you down an alley, which takes you into sort of a larger thoroughfare, where there is some more markets and there's a bit more activity happening here. You see some tiefling individuals interacting with a couple of Duro, which is sort of like a dark gnomish character. They're sort of like going back and forth over the price of this interesting looking bird. That's sort of squawking in a cage. There's a lot of activity that's going on. And he immediately, Sam, you glance across and see a entryway to looks to be like a seedy establishment of some sort. It is, I can't get this name out of my head, so it's going to be the name of the thing. It's going to be called Pumpkin Seed Tavern.
Why? Why would you do this? Is it because it's fall? Is that why?
Yep.
Is it near
Yep.
Halloween? Is that why?
Can we get pumpkin spice lattes here?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Is there a Starbucks or a small bistro of mediocre coffee?
Well, so it's The entryway is sort of
We
just
almost got
a glowing open. You did. Is a glowing open. There's a lot of light coming through it, a lot of firelight. And you hear the sounds of just like drinks being mixed around. It's not rowdy by any means. It is still technically midday, although the sunlight doesn't make its way down here. But it's definitely busy. There's people eating food, and there's a lot of food to be served here. As you guys make your way inside, you see an assortment of different meals. You see one ogre that's currently just like slamming a fucking pig on a bun, like a whole ass pig. Just like on this largest bun you ever see, this ogre's like trying to gnaw at it. You see a large chunk of rib that's from some animal that must be huge that you've never seen before. You also see an assortment of small birds of ranging sizes, from like a little tiny like peafowl that's no bigger than like an egg, all the way up to like, you know, a turkey, in the various plates of the other assorted denizens of this establishment. Pumpkin Seed Tavern, as you guys make your way in. The changeling immediately shifting face to look a bit more reddish in hue, a tiefling. There's a lounge singer that begins singing in the background. Older drow gentleman with sort of like white hair, those flecks of gold that are sort of like dyed into it, singing in the background.
So since we're inside, are you gonna turn off the cavern music?
I just added.
I know you did.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
I figured.
it's playing on top of it.
Well, I know,
My
but
brain's
I figured
melting.
that. Okay, I'll turn it off. I thought that the combination of the two would be like a. I thought it would work, but if it doesn't, it doesn't.
No, it's fine. It just was like adding weird ambiance to on top of like a nice kind of just, you know,
Right.
just
Because it's like, because we're deep in like, because like we've already used the. I don't have a lot of music, guys. We've already used the tavern music for the nice tavern, so this is like the not nice tavern because it also has like the cavern music.
No, I like
I'm not
it.
a
It's
sound
creative.
designer. I'm not a sound
Creative.
designer.
That's fine. We'll find
So-
more with Epidemic. So
As you're like see people taking a sip of beer, there's like drips from stalactites that come through the ceiling.
yeah, there we go. Now the audio makes sense. I get it.
There
now.
we go. You get it now. But the stalactites that come through the ceiling are very clearly like features of the bar. They've like been crafted out of like plaster, and they're like sort of made to make the whole thing look like the mouth of a jack-o'-lantern.
This
As
sounds
you
like
make your way,
a bar.
it would be nice. It's like one of those. It's I'm gonna describe it as akin to an Indian food restaurant, where like it could be nice, but it's like made cheaply. I'm thinking specifically of the Indian food restaurant that's by my house. I suppose that is a little bit.
I was gonna say it.
a little bit assumptive of me. Anyway, casual racism aside, you guys find yourself in this tavern. Nobody particularly takes note of your entrance, although as you guys sort of like stand around a bit, there is a bit of a few people that sort of bump into you as they're just sort of occupying the space. Doric and Grom find a couple of tables that are vaguely nearby. Looks like there's enough room for about 3 people at one, 4 people at the other.
Perfect.
That sounds great.
Doric and Grom sit at the one, and Nephestus goes to sit at the other.
No. Nephestus, you can go sit over there.
Why do I have to sit with the dwarves?
To
Why do you
understand
gotta
them
say
better.
it like that? Now look, they're good people. Go sit with them.
He looks at you. The 2 dwarves sort of like stand over. They already have ale, and they're sort of like raising a glass. Changeling walks over and sits with the dwarves, sticking out like they're so polar opposite. This like gaunt changeling man and these 2 hardy dwarves. As they sit at the table, you guys
he's
sit
so
around this table.
weird. Thank God he's not sitting at this table. Jeez.
I kind of want to hang out with those dwarves though. They seem kind of fun.
Yeah, they're having fun, but they're not doing the work that is needed. We're here on business, not pleasure. Although a little
That's
pleasure
fair.
is needed, and I kind of raised my finger. Hey, let me get one.
Round for
What
the table.
sort of thing would you like?
Oh, God.
Geez,
This buxom goblin woman comes over to you, just like teetering on these ridiculously tall heels, sort of like holding a platter of like ale that you don't know how is not falling over.
well, I suppose I'll just take an ale.
You
We'll
don't
have a
want something harder?
I'm working. Sorry.
How about you, big boy? You're looking for something to be harder?
I'll order again in Goblin because I like to show off a little bit, and just say we'll have a round of ale for the table.
Right, all right. No need to fucking turn me down so rudely.
And she walks away.
Why did he even get a jam?
Comes back a few moments later with a round of ale. And again, I must emphasize that this is a goblin woman carrying like 4 pints of like ale on like a small little platter, and they're like 3 stacked and 1 on top, like a little pyramid, and she's like carrying it over her head and like walking through this very crowded bar. Like it's not so much crowded like busy, it's just there's too many tables for the establishment.
Social distancing.
They're not so no,
Oh,
just
my
not
Lord.
at all. Like the tables are just all crammed in, and so there's like not really a solid pathway through the whole place. So you she places the ale around. All right, hey up, that's a corporate piece.
Excuse me. Have you ever seen this person? And I'm gonna show her the photo.
Just lean right into it. All right. Normally I like to soften them up, but shit.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage, Ranger Rick.
What?
She glancing over at you, looking down.
That son of a bitch hasn't paid his fucking tab in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, I know who that is.
Do you know where we could find him?
Oh, yeah. Him and his scummy jackal friends have been coming in here asking for the good stuff, saying they're on to something big. They're gonna have this big old payout, and he's been sweet talking me. I left my husband for that goblin. And
Well-
look at where I am now.
Right, but where is he?
Where is he? He sure as hell ain't at home where he should be.
Well, do you know where he is right now?
How could I know he's not standing here, is he?
Okay, well, do you know where he spends time?
I know he spends time with the jackal wares down over by Crypt Row.
Crypt Row, you say?
But you have to promise me you'll bring him back.
100%, yes.
She glares at you.
I'll hold you to it.
You have my word.
What was
You
your
don't
name
have
again?
my word.
I'm Ranger Rick.
Ranger Rick.
She glares at you. She mutters something under her breath. And Ranger Rick, you watch as just like a black band sort of like forms around your wrist.
What are you saying? You keep cutting in and out?
Oh, am I cutting it out?
Yeah.
It's her.
Hey, aw.
So, no.
Bird.
I love that even more.
Aw, hey, aw.
She looks at you and she's like, oh.
Oh, excuse me! Excuse me! I just had some hair in my throat. Oh.
I'm about to give the Gawk Gawk 3000.
She coughs up a hairball, chucks it off to the side. It lands in a drink of a gork somewhere down the way.
Ew.
Gnarly.
Right. She what? what she does is she clearly casts a spell, and Ranger Rick, you watch as a black band sort of forms around your wrist, just sort of this dark energy, and she says to you, "I know where you are."
Well, your information better work then.
Copper for the drinks.
Sure.
She puts the hand out.
Yeah.
Pay up 4 copper. She grabs it, glares, counts it, bites one of the copper pieces. A tooth breaks off into it. Ah! Shakes the coin at you, hobbles off on her awkward high heels.
Can I grab the tooth?
What is the matter with you?
Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, it's on the ground now.
Oh, are you just gonna grab it?
Yeah, not in her mouth, you monster.
Says this guy who's about to grab a tooth off the ground.
yeah, you can pick up the tooth. It's on the ground.
No, it's for research purposes. I look at Edwin kind of judging me. I begin
Well, boys.
drinking.
Always the fucking weirdos. All right. I guess,
Thank you for the follow.
Do we have this drink and then head out to Crypt Row?
Well, as long as the side table's ready too.
They're sort of glancing over. They're just sort of just like waiting. They haven't gotten their. The changeling hasn't gotten a drink yet, but the dwarves have already finished their first.
this is also why we don't normally make promises. We don't know. We can keep. Now you got that black band on you. We'll see what happens.
Well, I didn't know she was gonna do that. Now, did I?
Yeah, maybe best if you just stay here for the duration of our trip down here, so then that way she doesn't know where we're actually going.
Are we not going to go to where she said?
No, we can, but he's currently being tracked by her.
Well, why not? It's nothing like she has any ill against us.
That we know of, we just met her.
It is true. I could hang out here for a while. Keep an eye. Maybe he will come around.
Hey, Neffy,
Yes, what is it?
what do you think of this whole being, I guess, would it be enchanted?
He glances down
What do you
at
think
the
of this
thing.
whole, black ring, singlet, bracelet, doodad?
Glances down at it.
Ah, you have been hexed, my friend.
Huh? See? Bad juju,
So-
Ranger Rick.
Is there anything we can do about it?
Ha. Nuffy sort of takes a look at it.
No, not that I am aware of. Well,
Okay.
not that I am capable of doing. Although,
Glancing over at the woman.
I do not think that she is a capable spellcaster, at least not from the looks of her.
Never judge a book by its cover.
You would say that, you librarian. But I must agree with the librarian.
It is true.
Mm.
Well, yeah, I can hang out here. Wait for you guys.
No, we should probably still take you. We just have to be careful. More careful than we normally should.
Well, it only tracks the location, right? It doesn't like do anything else.
I don't know. This magic is...
What did you?
Is this magic unfamiliar to me still? I was gonna hope that I was gonna roll low so I could just be like, this magic's unfamiliar to me.
As you were about to say that, Edwin, immediately you just you remember distinctly. There was that one guy that I did, the one contract you had where somebody was hexed, and it was very helpful. You worked alongside another bounty hunter, by the name of Hound, the bounty hunter.
Wow.
Wow, you really got
Great
the names today.
We got the names today, boys.
I hope you wrote that down because I'm gonna reference that months from now.
Oh, straight up did.
Hound the bounty hunter.
No relation to any TV show host you may have heard of. But yeah, no, he used
that
hex.
show.
He used hex in order to track his foes, but it only lasted about an hour at the level he cast it at. which you'd recall. You also know that typically it only gives you a it's more so something that it's not really usually a tracking spell. You have to have some special skills to do that, although you're not sure if the goblin has those.
Yeah, I know
but you do
nothing
know
about
that
the goblin because we made a deal with the goblin before we could even find out. Not bitter.
Yep. But you do know that it does carry another penalty of some sort.
Well, you might as well come with us. Just
If we're gonna go, let's go before she has time to warn him.
Well, we should do that.
Yes,
I don't
it
know.
seems like a good idea.
oh, you
let's
naive
go.
librarian. I'm gonna go ahead and use so I'm gonna do that beforehand because I can basically just have it until I stop it.
The transformation lasts for 1 minute.
But it says until you die or until you revert to your normal appearance as a bonus action.
The transformation lasts for 1 minute.
Well, what's that gonna do for me? Nothing.
Make you look like that for 1 minute.
Is this a hold on? Is this a cantrip?
No, it's a.
This
it's
is
a.
his like Rachel ability.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh well, fine. I won't do it. I won't use anything then. I read that as if I could just
okay.
have it.
Nope.
Oh well.
Well, let's go. Ranger Rick is gonna stand up and start heading towards the door.
All right, we already headed out already.
Yep.
Was that Grom or Doric?
We're working.
Doric is the one with the Irish accent. Grom says like 3 words.
Ah. Yeah, Doric, we're on our way out.
All right.
Ranger Rick got himself hexed.
Oh, jeez. Slams the ale, pounds it down. That's a way to get started. Sort of grabs a hold of the ham that he had just ordered and just sort of grabs it and walks alongside the rest of the group.
I guess we'll all slam our
Cool.
drinks now.
I never had
Oh,
a drink.
before we leave, I just turned to someone on the way out. Excuse me, could you point me towards Crypt Row?
The person you stop by is a large ogre who sort of, well, bro. Just sort of
Yes.
looks at you. What? Why you want to go there? You're not dead.
Doesn't
Not
matter. I
yet.
want to go there.
Oh, you planning on killing him in Crypt Row?
Potentially.
We'd like to go there. Where could you point us?
Is this a party event? As he sort of grabs a hold of the club that's sort of beside him, looking over
is
towards
not.
you, Edwin.
I look at Sam. Do we need more muscle?
Well,
what he's
honestly,
asking.
I would probably not want to involve any more civilians than are already involved.
Edwin, he's asking if he can kill me with you.
That's correct.
What if we killed somebody else instead?
I mean, is that somebody else, an ugly elf like this one?
Ugly.
Yeah, ugly.
No taste.
Beauty is in the
I will have
eye of
you
the
know,
beholder.
I am a melf.
Oh my lord!
Ooh.
All right. On that note, I
He-
just keep walking.
He stands up and kicks the chair over. I don't even know what that is. Grabs the club and goes to swing at you.
Jesus, not a bar fight.
Yep. Let me just go ahead and find.
We need a tavern scene because I guess we decided that we were gonna fight and let's see. Ranger Rick got us hexed and got a bar fight, all within 20 minutes of showing
Oh,
up. and-
here comes the Blamin' Max train.
just a second as I
Starting
find.
early.
I mean,
Let me find. I wasn't really expecting a bar fight. I kind of had one prepared.
I mean, I'm not gonna
I can end it
blame you
right now.
Just sleep him, dude. Sleep him.
I know, that's the plan.
Yeah, just sleep him.
So, well, yeah. So as he's going and he goes to swing, he does get one club strike in, which I'm just gonna. I don't have the sheet. I'm just gonna roll my d20 advanced dice roller. D20 plus 3. 13. Does that hit you?
No.
Oh,
Swings and misses you right past you.
we can't have that.
Is it a? And it's no save. It just is a. It just happens. Hit points of creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, it just happens.
It's like a whole cone of them. They're like 20.
Make an intelligence check.
It's a whole code of 20. Just puts the whole bar to sleep.
So the way this spell works, just so you guys know, is that it affects the creature with the least amount of hit points first, and it then sleeps people up to the amount of hit points rolled. So up to 21 hit points of creatures will now go to sleep. And with your intelligence of 6, you just sort of point it straight at the ogre, who has about 23 hit points. So as you point at it there, immediately 2 of the goblins behind him just sort of pass out, and actually it would just be 9. It would just be 2 of the goblins behind him pass out. And just 2 of the goblins at the table sort of pass out as you're, what are you doing? Technically, I don't have a map. So, I mean, I have a map, but just nothing on it. So, look, it's a tavern. It's empty. This is just for the theming. This is just for the theming of it. What would Sam and Dara like to do? Is this ogre's turning and sort of going to slam? Oh, so Derry just went. It would be Sam and Ranger and Edwin. What are you guys doing?
It's time to go, boys.
I say
getting out
we
of there.
yes, I totally agree. Let's go.
So you guys go to run. Once more, we'll just sort of like go and drunkenly slam. It's clear now that he is not in the best state of mind. As he slips on an ale. Actually, I'll say he trips over one of the goblins, falls backward, and crushes the other one's skull. As just lands, whoa! And you see as this goblin individual is just sort of like smushed behind him. As you guys are making your way out of the bar, there's now some like, hey, what are you doing? Jimmy! And just people, goblins rushing over. Get him over! There's like goblins fighting over this thing, and the tiefling's like, hey, come on, that's my beer! And sort of goes and just sort of reaches out, pulls out a gun, and starts like fucking firing into the crowd.
Gonna go ahead and bow out then, and
yeah, and
leave.
As you all yeet out of the bar rapidly. Thankfully, the ogre was by the door. You make your way back into the cogs of the city. Making your way. Well, you guys don't quite know still where the cemetery row is.
Oh, is it on the map?
Nope.
Oh.
No, we don't know where Crypt Row is because we picked the fight with an ogre.
We did not pick a fight with him. He picked a fight with us.
Well, I suppose that this Crypt Row place cannot possibly be very hard to find. So,
all right, then lead the way there, Master Explorer of the City Watch.
A changeling shatters through the window, just caught up in glass, just like shatters and rolls out as like some of the brawling is starting to spill onto the streets.
All right, I guess that's our cue to leave.
So you make your way along. Who's leading the search for Crypt Row?
I suppose that'll be me.
I'll follow behind Sam Shepard.
I'll take up the rear.
Doric and Grom taking up the rear with you. As you make your way along, Sam Shepard, go ahead and make an investigation check.
I've been around here hundreds of times. All right, now listen. I've just
I've been around here
I've been
hundreds
around
of
here
times.
hundreds of times. Where am I?
I know this place like the back of my hand.
Oh, that's a new mole on the back of my hand.
Oh, that's a new freckle.
Yeah. So as you make your as you start to make your way around a little ways, the rowdiness of the district, the fight fades into the ambient noise of the world around you, which I definitely have ambient noise for without. Nope. Yep. Yeah. Yep. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's the same.
there's that ambient noise. We're no longer listening to a cheerful bar.
Exactly. No, we're no longer in a bar. We're in a other place. But so you make your way. Oh, actually, I hurt my heart when I laughed there. I don't know how. It was just like ooh. I felt like a weird twinge.
Are you good?
Perhaps you
think
should
I'm
see a
good.
doctor.
No, I'm good. I just was like, it was just a weird like muscle twinge. Any shmoo. So you guys begin to make your way around, and at some point, about 10-15 minutes later, you guys find yourself still deeper into the cogs. You sort of feel a heat as you glance over, and you see like bits of lava bubble up in one of the holes beside you, and glance around, and you find there's like you can hear distantly the sound of a forge, just sort of dinging slightly in the background. It's pretty empty, eerily empty. It's like a warehouse district sort of vibe, but just sort of some workers here or there. You see a couple of Duragar workers who are just sort of like sitting there chewing on some chewing tobacco. Off to the side, glaring. So other than that, you guys are sort of just a group alone in the middle of this empty warehouse district.
Perhaps they are making them some metal caskets.
I've got the feeling you don't know where you're going.
Now,
Yeah.
I will admit that
Sam,
I
I
have
feel
not
like
seen
we're
this
I feel like we're
particular
lost
portion.
now.
I've not seen this particular portion of the cogs before, but I just got a little turn around. Let me is there anyone around? Let me
There's those couple of Duragar that are sort of currently sitting off to the side, chewing on tobacco and just sort of staring at the group of you. You see some people further away, down one of the main pathways, and you see the entryway to one of these large warehouse-esque structures.
Hey, you, Durgar.
Hey, is this Cryptro?
Does it look like Crypt Row to you?
Who do we have the
Well-
pleasure of talking to?
Sort of glares at the other Duragar.
Yeah, you can call me Tom.
All right,
It's nice to meet you, Tom.
Tom. The guy who just yelled about Crypt Row, he's obviously lost. We're trying to get to Crypt Row.
What's a group of yous got to do with Crypt Row?
How about a gold each and doesn't matter?
Glances at the other one.
This guy.
Glance at the other one. Sort of like nods at you.
All right.
You flip him a coin.
I pull out 2 gold and I'm like, all right, so where's Crypt Row?
Sort of nods towards the coin.
Don't be cheap on me.
All right. I flick him the coins.
Flick them the coins. They grab it.
Up your ass.
They laugh and sort of like high five. Put the coin in their pocket.
Yep. That's a good joke. So where's Crypt Row?
Have you checked up your ass? Hey, you pretty boy, you should check up his ass for him.
Talking to
Neffy,
you, Darrow.
Doric, and Grom. You guys come on over here. May need some help. Hoping these guys remind us and remember where Crypt Row is.
The 2 Duragar sort of glaring at you.
Oh, you think you're gonna remind a couple of us where Crypt Row is?
No, we're gonna help you remember.
Oh, yeah? And how exactly are you going to do that, buddy, Mr. Palo, friend? Oh, hey, oh.
Well, prefer not to beat it out of you.
Oh, you think you're gonna beat it out of me and my pal here?
Tom sort of pats the other Durgar, who sort of spits a big chunk of chaw that just sort of splats right on the ground between you.
Buddy, there's 7 of us and 2 of you.
You wanna know why they call me Tom?
Because that's your name.
Cause my mother named me Tom. You wanna know why they call this guy Blind Jim?
Because he's blind and his mother named him Jim?
No, cause he blinds people. And his mother named him Jim.
Well, that still doesn't change the fact that there's 7 of us and 2 of you.
Oh, jeez, I forgot.
And he claps his hands together and immediately grows double inside.
Well. Only 7 of ya. 1 of me. 1 of Jim.
So
what am I to do?
How tall is he?
Doubling in size, he gets to be about 8 feet tall.
So he's 1 foot taller than me. Okay.
Yeah, 1 foot taller than you, and he's dwarven built, so he's like he is big. They're dark dwarves.
People down here are not nice.
Why don't you go back up to the fancy boy district? I can see your friend over there shitting his pants.
Pointing at Dairo.
Dero,
Yeah.
you better not have.
Oh, I'm good.
The other dwarf who hasn't said anything yet sort of like smiles, and his teeth are all black, like they're just like nubs.
Edwin, if you're gonna do anything, I'll help you out.
Ranger Rick looks towards Edwin. Do we need to do this?
Well, how else are we gonna find out where the Crypt Row is?
Could ask other people.
Well, then I'm gonna be out 2 gold.
That is true. That is quite unfortunate.
All because Sam Shepard over here got us lost.
You gonna talk all day?
Jim now stands up and claps his hands together and doubles in size.
Or we gonna tussle?
I mean, I'm looking at the group, see what they would like to do.
Well, I'm sure I can spin this in some way to say that they attacked me first, and you know how it goes with the god. People will believe me.
You one of the god?
Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
You should unroll your sleeves.
Takes 2 steps forward. Go ahead and roll initiative as you guys are all talking about fighting. And
I need a
now
token.
I do have advantage on initiative rolls, by the way.
So I don't actually have a good map for this because I wasn't expecting this to happen.
Oh. I don't have a roll tracker. There we go. Gotta wait for it.
Yeah, wait. You need the roll tracker, and you also need your characters, which I'm just going to drop onto the map of the city.
Sounds good.
I don't know which one of these is each of you. Just click on one of these boys and figure it out.
I can click on none of them.
I can't.
Do you not have
control it.
Gosh, diggity darn it! I thought I had that all set up.
I'm gonna assume that I'm the one with the bow, though.
Yeah, it should have been. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So, just making sure. So that's Sam Shepard. So this is Sam Shepard. Controlled by Sam Shepard. Save changes. So this one is controlled by Ranger Rick. Edwin is
There
this
we
guy.
go.
Controlled by Edwin. Save changes. And this one is controlled by Diero. Save change. So, that is not right. Do.
Should I re-roll again for the advantage, or just go with those two?
Just you have advantage on initiative rolls?
I do.
Yeah, then just go with the 2 that you rolled.
Okay, so it should be a
Yeah.
10. Still not great.
Yeah.
This is not a 4.
Yeah. As I now drop the last person in.
Yeah,
Cool.
since I am a natural explorer, I get advantage on initiative
So we'll say
rolls.
for the sake of this that this alleyway, this like valley, this like let me use my measuring tool. This like valley area of the map is where the roads intersect. And you guys, it would look something like this, where you guys would be down over here. The people who are talking would be sort of more up front. Changeling in the back over here. You're a little too big. And these guys are a little bigger. Something like that. As I remember that this can happen.
No, combat.
Combat music. So as I find my initiative turn order thing, I now need to get all these other boys on here. As we're setting up combat, hope everybody's having a grand old time. Just grooving. Guys having a good session.
This is where I get one shot.
Oh, this is where we all get one shot,
This
man.
is where we all die.
Yeah. It's gonna be one punch man up in here. Do a guy. I can't lose my helmet.
So, top of the round. This is. Who is this?
That would be me, I believe.
Yes, so Sam Shepard.
Yes. I'm gonna pull out. I'm assuming distances are true.
Yeah, distances are true enough.
All right. I'm gonna stand by my fellow men here, pull out my light crossbow, and say, I'm gonna need you all to stand down, please. I'm just gonna pump them. A crossbow bolt.
So that will just hit, yeah.
All right. Take that, you foul criminal.
Light crossbow maiming the not innocent.
As you knock that arrow straight into the door. Oh, that hurt. What was his voice? I totally forget what his voice was. Oh, that hurt. That's his voice now.
Who did you just shoot?
Yep, that hits him. What else you gotta do?
That is, I'll probably take a few steps back. I do not want to be squished. So I'll kind of back up here, all the way by our changeling friend. Hello.
Cool. So that's your go. Edwin. You are up next.
You do get a plus D4.
That's
And
true.
I keep forgetting that the battle music, I have to press the loop button.
I'm gonna go ahead and I will now shift. So they don't get advantage on me on any attacks.
Okay.
And I also gain, what is that? 3 more hit points. So I got 13 hit points.
Right.
And then I need to see what the wild hunt shifters do when shifted. Let me take a gander here.
It says right there. You get more hit points, and people can't roll with advantage against you.
Oh, I forgot that I must have added that in then, because it's how it says rate thing below. So sure. So I got that, and then I guess I'll use my unarmed strike.
Go for it. So you rush forward, dash to the side, boom, punch him straight in the chest. That'll hit.
And then you said I got +4. Was that on roll or on damage with guidance? See, that's
plus
on my rolls. On my
that's
ability
on
checks.
the roll. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So 6 points of bludgeoning damage into him as you basically jump forward and you push the arrow deeper into his chest. Oh, what are you doing?
And I don't think I get anything else then with that. Oh, and I'm also going to... I'll mark him. No, I can't because I already shifted, so I can't do that yet.
I believe as a bonus action, as a monk, you have an unarmed... You can make a
Another
unarmed
one?
strike. I believe so. It's early. I think that's like the early level monk thing. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure that's part of your
Forgive me,
martial arts.
I don't play monks often.
Yeah. It's new stuff for everybody.
That's
This is the
it.
first combat we're doing with these characters.
There's
Martial
too many.
arts. When you use the
Not
attack
new for
action
me.
with an unarmed strike on your turn, you can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Oh. Nice. Well then, yeet.
That'll definitely hit. Knocking him as the first arrow, you just slap the arrow further into him. The second one, you spin around and just elbow straight to the nose. It sort of cracks upward, and he falls head backwards. And he is bleeding. That arrow shot really hit him in a vital point, and you just shoved it straight through, probably a lung, if not his heart. As the smash in the face, he's sort of limping on his back leg. The other dwarf, Duragar, standing beside him now, growing still from the enlarge ability, looks over, black teeth. He opens his mouth in horror, and one of the teeth just falls out. And we're not expecting this turn of events.
I just wanted to know where we were going.
At this point, it is now the changeling's turn. And it's going to just stand over to the side. This music is too epic for me.
I was about to say this is like super epic music, and we're just having like
this is really epic music. I know, this is like you're just beating down a dude. I don't have the music yet.
I was gonna like this is like dragon fighting music. We're over
This
here.
is like
just
dragon fight. You're just beating up
beating.
with Duragar.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pause the music for back on the ambience as you fucking crack. The changeling. Are we really doing this now? Tucks a dagger into the Durhigar. Missing. Chucking another one. Also missing. As both daggers sort of spin right around your head, Edwin, and they just sort of clatter into the wall beside the Durhigar. You glance back. You see the changeling sort of like shrug a little bit.
Oh, that's upsetting.
And it's now Thug's turn. As he's like, all right, I've been waiting for this one. Goes and takes a few steps forward. And by a few steps, I mean, I think his whole movement as a dwarf. No, not quite. Runs forward, axe out. Going to go ahead and make. I must change him to an axe because I described him as having an axe. Boom. Nope. Also nope. Rushes forward, just sort of slaps the Durgar, using his big fist to just sort of beat the axe aside and sort of hold it down, stopping the dwarf from decapitating him. It's now this other Duragar's turn, and he's going to see how just fucked up his friend is, and he's gonna look at you guys, and he's gonna like, can he do this? Yeah, he's gonna. Oh, it's for 1 minute. He can't undo it. So he just like sees you guys, like nods, like flips the coin back to you. Flips the coin back to you, Edwin. And for the first time, you hear this one speak. Oh yeah, it's if you just take the next right and then go further down, you'll find the Crypt District. No problems. Have a nice day.
I'll catch the coin and then toss it back to him and said, "I'm a man of my word. Like, I paid you guys for the coin. You started this."
So like nods, goes to like grab. Technically, it's still combat order. So Ranger Rick, as he goes to grab his friend and drag him away, his friend's not dead. But he grabs to grab him away. Is there anything you'd like to do, Ranger Rick?
Yeah, one of them's still alive.
Oh,
Both of them are still alive.
Jesus.
The one is pretty close to not alive.
Which one is the one that's close to being not alive? Has he done anything yet?
No.
No, they just got big and were like sort of braggadoring towards you.
Oh, neither of them have done anything yet?
No.
Well, they like threatened you and were like going to like it was clear they were going to attack you, so I had you guys roll
I
initiative.
mean, think about
Cool.
it this way: they tried to bully us, and we put them back in their place.
Cool.
God,
Which one do I want to attack?
we're immediately evil guys.
We're not evil.
Morally ambiguous.
You know what? I'm gonna put the one out of his misery.
God.
he can be healed.
Yeah. So I'm gonna attack him,
He's
and I
on
get
the
advantage
ground.
because he hasn't done anything.
He's on the ground.
You get advantage because he hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah. So because of my natural explorer, where is it?
Show me the spell facts.
On my on my first turn during combat, you have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that have not yet acted.
Yep.
Bruh.
Okay, that tracks.
In other words, innocent creatures.
That actually misses
Oh my
as
God.
the arrow hits the armor plating of his work uniform. It's just sort of like thick leather for metalworking, and it sort of just like sticks in but doesn't deal any damage.
That was a warning shot.
Please don't kill my friend. the black tooth, Duragar says, is the other one. Much pain. Pulling the other guy back.
You may want to tell us where Crypt Row
He
is.
already did.
He already did.
He already did. He tells us where we need to go. I toss the coin back to him, and you just knock an arrow and try to murder a guy on the ground. Oh my God! We found the new torment.
Oh, no.
I guess this is what happens when you get distracted for a little bit. I take all of that back. I'm sorry.
To take an arrow back as Doric sort of reaches up and grabs the arrow off the guy's chest. But I suppose if you want it, he tosses the arrow back to you.
Well, Ranger Rick is very sorry about that.
Jesus.
Well, we have an idea of where we're off to now.
Yeah. Have a good day.
I'll have a shitty day to the two of you. Sort of spits in the general direction of the Duragar.
Now, I'm assuming this goes without saying, but if anyone asks, they were coming straight at me.
Maybe we shouldn't be, touting that you're a city watch. Okay, Sam?
It just kind of slipped out.
Yeah, well, we should make the conscious effort to not.
It's who I am.
I am very interested in not being down here much longer. Let us go see what we can find.
Yes, post haste.
So, you guys make your way following the rough directions given to you towards Crypt Row. I would say, Edwin, go ahead and make a survival check.
I'm good at that, supposedly.
If he's,
Oh, wait,
if
hold
he's
on,
using the
hold
map
on.
and I'm helping.
Oh wait, no, I'm still shifted. I have advantage on wisdom rolls, right? It's survival's wisdom. Yes.
While shifted, you have advantage on wisdom checks. Yes, actually. Since it's still within the last, you do. Not even bullshit. You do, in fact.
I knew that because I remember there was a reason bounty hunter, wild hunt is good for this sort of thing.
No, it makes sense. So as you shift, just as you're coming out of your shift, you're coming out of your shift and you noting the directions and seeing how the roads go, you sort of glance down, not really tracking so much as just like following your instincts, and you begin to make your way down a path. The rest of you following behind. And you make your way into further deeper. Really, Daniel? You make your way further into the Cogs. Actually sort of backtracking a little bit, sort of towards where you came from, and then taking a left where you guys previously had taken a right, and making your way rather rapidly to
Let's just
a
switch
sort
the
of...
signs around. Not my fault.
Okay.
Towards instead of sort of just the low rumbling of flames and lava, this section is sort of just like the low creaking of just stone and just sort of like pebbles falling and stuff like that. You also hear a scuttling sound as you make your way down this alley, or rather, that's not an alley, it's more of a small street, a side street is what I would say. I know you really care about the distinction between an alley and a side street.
I thought they were the same, but okay.
Exactly.
Danger.
Yeah, you make your way. Exactly. You make your way down this side street. Cobwebs sort of fill the vacant, what used to be houses. And it strikes you as interesting. This clearly was a very old part of the city. There are some boarded up windows that have just been like long boarded up, like they're rotting and open now. You see just an assortment of small spiders making their way across the ground here. It's just sort of an eerie, dreary, dark place, and there's not hardly a soul in sight. You hear some movement coming from a couple of the windows as you pass them by. But this appears to be what looks like a crypt row.
Okay. Let's
Well, I
see.
suppose this looks like the place. Let's keep our eyes out for some short goblins. I mean, they're goblins, so they're kind of hard to mistake for anything else.
I guess we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Okay. You should go ahead and make perception check, the two of you. Sam, as you're glancing around down this side street, a couple things catch your eye. The sounds you heard up in the various buildings sort of make you a little uneasy. There's one brownstone with a large metal gate that is sort of like on its hinges. That's been off its hinges. That's been sort of ripped off its hinges. Sort of strikes you as odd. And down towards the end of the street, you see an actual entryway to an old temple, an old crypt. Probably what the street got its name for, if not just the dreary atmosphere. But you do see the old crypt that the street was named after. Large tombstone-shaped doorway, and just mausoleum stone walls that are built into the side of this crumbling tower.
Well, I suppose that the deeper we go, the more we'll find. So, I guess everyone,
Wise words.
let's go. Go this way.
That's a
True
dangerous
words have
sentiment
never
among the dwarven people. Go too deep, you'll find something you're not looking for.
We'll go the right amount of deepness then.
Oh my-
Perfect amount.
The dwarves kind of giggle at that as you make your way along into this crypt.
We will find that spot, that
Stop.
good spot.
No, my lord, I knew.
The right
Stop
amount
it.
of depth.
We're, no,
know.
we're done. We're done here.
I cover my bird's ears.
I didn't realize birds had ears. So, as I turn on this thing and I set up the other page, as you guys make your way in, how you guys doing? Have a nice day. Just grooving, you know.
How should you guys? We should approach this one. I mean, we could just go around searching. We could try to lure him out. There's a lot of ways.
Lure him out with what? He's gonna walk around with that ham that Dorg's got and just hold it out there and be like, hey.
Hey, do you want to see me lure him out?
Yeah, actually.
All right. As soon as I find a suitable spot that looks like there would be some not so savory types, I'll attempt to lure them out of their hidey holes, and we will do our best to promptly interrogate them for the location of our quarry.
They are our quarry.
Yeah, we're kind of hoping that these people are the people we're looking for.
Well, I suppose that our quarry is actually the one that's on the sheet, and everyone working for him just works for him, and then we're out to us to save this handmaiden.
Sam, I think you just had a stroke.
I can assure you I'm in tip-top health. Now, let's see if I can find a sort of seedy joint someplace where I think these fellows are gonna just come crawling out the woodwork here. Perhaps over there. Maybe over there.
Glancing down towards where the crypt is, it does strike you as a place that people might. The den of inequity. It's an abandoned crypt.
All right.
But also, some of these brownstones, there's very clearly signs of drug usage outside of them.
Does the crypt have giant neon flashing signs that say "definitely not the bad guy's lair"? Pointing right at it.
The crypt is, I mean, it's just towards the end of the street. It's got like a, just a dark, foreboding sense of dread.
This is not where you need to be.
You know,
Totally not where we should go.
Plot
Not like
point,
it's-
definitely not here.
Not like it's literally
Yeah.
at the end of the row. The crypt row.
yeah, no, yeah. But one of those brownstones,
Rick,
is very clearly
Rick.
some.
I think we might need to go down to that crypt.
Did you?
Well,
just
yes,
say your
that's
name
why
like
we're
a
walking.
He did just say his name.
I had to get the voice back.
Ranger Rick.
I lost it for a second, and Ranger Rick, that's how I get the voice.
Okay.
All right, boys. Watch and learn. I will move deeper down the crypt row, hopefully with my friends in tow, somewhat close by.
Don't go too deep.
Within reaction distance is what we'll call it.
Jesus.
As I get closer, it's like, oh, jeez. I'm really struggling carrying my jewel bag. Dang.
This is how you're gonna try to.
Roll a deception check.
Oh, jeez, please don't rob me.
heavy.
Oh, I can help you out with that.
Shut up.
Shut
Probably good
up,
enough.
Diero.
As you're walking along, you hear a voice from one of the brownstones. You want some help with that?
That depends.
You see a head of a goblin sort of poke their head out. It's a male goblin with an extra ear growing out of his forehead.
A moblin.
You're not a criminal, are you? I sure don't want criminals helping me with my bag.
And they not.
I'm just saying, we're looking
man-
for a very specific criminal.
Said your other 6 friends can't help you with your bag.
No, we can't.
Sam, this is very clearly a delinquent drug addict.
I don't want your help, you scrawny-armed man. I need someone big and burly to help me, a very wealthy jewel merchant, carry my very heavy jewel bag into this or around this crypt. I hope nothing bad comes from this crypt while I'm holding my big, heavy.
Coming out of the crypt, an arrow just appears in his shoulder, just like fucking sprouts, and just like ah. Actually, sorry, it's not from the crypt. It's coming from the goblin in the house. It just pulls out a bow and shoots you.
Now that. Ah,
We're level 1, remember?
ah.
We're level 1.
The goblin immediately turns bah! and just runs back into the house.
That is so much health. We're level 1.
Oh, all right. We'll do it. We'll do it your way, Edwin. Oh God. Nobody respected us.
We're not gonna make it.
We're gonna die here.
It was fun serving with you all.
So
I don't know how you do it, Edwin, but you sometimes, you just walk up to the door and knock, right?
let's see.
Surely I got some ointment for this. Or
It's worked before. We could, two of us could walk up to the door and knock, set up an ambush or something. I've done that before. It's
We're in
worked
an
really well.
alleyway. And as you can tell,
It's actually a side street.
Diero, you nerd.
Diero, I'm gonna need you to shut the fuck up.
Oh, I'll just talk to my owl.
Well, we can't really set up an ambush, but I mean, we might as well just, I guess, head to the crypt. I don't know.
That's all we got. So let's just go for it.
Just be ready.
Might as well head our way inside then, yeah?
I'll try to make myself a less obvious target. I'll just kind of hang out right back here.
No, Sam, you're coming with us.
Oh, I'm definitely coming with you.
So as you make your way in, Sam sort of towards the back, and with Nephis and Doric and Grom leading the way, as the two burly dwarfish men make their way down into the entryway of this crypt. It's dank, dark, full of cobwebs, sort of broken apart a little bit. It's crumbling. Allow me to present with you a map.
See, we're meant to be here because he has a map ready for us.
Look, first of all, don't read into my DMing.
Well, I just got a black screen.
It's in the corner.
Yeah.
Zoom
Zoom.
out.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
There we go.
Are y'all gonna say it? There we go.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
There we
Ranger Rick is no
go.
longer lost.
Hey, there we go.
Hey.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, there we go.
You make your way into this cave. The two dwarves leading the way. Well, it seems like a jovial little place, don't it? Glancing over, stepping over a small pile of bones. Oh, that's unfortunate. Taking a few steps deeper into the cave. Or rather, sorry, into the crypt. It is constructed of stone, very old make.
It would make sense to have the dwarves lead.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let the dwarves lead.
Well, this is a. What do you reckon? Is this pre Gallifreyan, or is this before after? And the dwarf sort of glances over at the stonework and sort of like leans down real close. Yep, pre-Gallifreyan. Well, look at that. I always thought Sharn was a bit more modern than that.
Hey, Daniel.
Yeah.
Pop. I don't know if that work.
What? Am I cutting out?
No. I'm trying to give myself the shifter token because I don't know how. What am I?
There's one of the free tokens. I just like found one. Do you want the shifter token?
I mean,
The one that looks like
Yeah.
a shifter? Okay.
it would make more sense than a dual wielding, hatchet throwing barbarian when I am a monk. Just going out on a limb here. Hey, there we go. I'll accept that, and then I can work on getting a token.
Yeah, if you guys present to me a thing, what the hell is your name? Edwin. I know, I'm just finding it. A, B, C, D, E. Edwin.
A B C D E.
Hey, we all do it.
Yeah, that's
Edwin
true.
Clawson.
You guys hear the new alphabet song?
What?
No.
Yeah, this new alphabet song.
Why would I have heard a new alphabet song?
Why
Andrew?
why would they make a new alphabet song? Was the old one racist or something?
No, just the LMNOP was really too quick for some children.
Well, no, because that's the best part of the alphabet.
I know,
Let's
that's fine,
be
mine
honest.
too.
That's
It's not my
the most
fault.
fun part.
All I do is listen to podcasts.
Oh,
right.
relatable content.
Onward.
Yep. So as you make your way in, well, now that we've got that sorted, sort of slapping their hands together, let's make our way. And sort of takes a few steps further into the next chamber. Oh wait, can you all see? There's no light in this chamber.
I have dark vision,
Yep.
so I should be able to
hold
see.
Let me hold on. Give me a sec here. Ah, fuck. Where is? I fumble around my my utility belt and I pull out a nice little eye bright lantern.
Any element of surprise is gone.
Yep. Pull out a little lantern. It functions very similar to a flashlight. So it has very specified range of vision. Diero, how is your vision?
Oh, I can't see anything at all, but my owl can, so I can see through him.
Cool. So every once in a while, closing your eyes and letting the owl guide you. It's not the most perfect. You still stumble a little bit, but
I'm gonna
you're able to
him
make
right
your
in
way
front of my
through.
face.
It's more so the fact that you're like, when you're in the owl's vision, you do not have any real senses in your head as much.
Oh, well. here
Well,
we
you
go.
still have your touch. I guess you still have your touch, and I guess you'd have your balance. I'll just say it's like, we'll see how it affects you. I haven't decided how that ruling works.
That's right.
You could also
Um,
just see I brought a flashlight.
It's also true. So as they make their way further into the crypt,
Useless city watch.
well, look at this here. Why is it not revealing the area like I told it to?
Revelio.
Do what I say. Thank you. Oh, that looks a bit ominous, doesn't it? I always hate when the designers of crypts always just threw the one extra one in its own little chamber. You just always made me think, why is this guy more important than the others? You know, brother? The other one sort of nods. Hey.
You mean the
You should
antechamber, Doric?
You should check for traps.
They're just walking in. Well, what do you reckon? This looks pretty undisturbed, Dork. Not Dork, his name's Grom. Doric is the one speaking. Grom's the one he's talking to. Looks pretty undisturbed, Grom. What do you guys think? They're just sort of shouting loudly.
I'm just gonna start poking around with my quarterstaff, like tapping, tapping the stones on the ground.
The stones feel fairly solid, and
I'm
as
gonna
you do,
continue moving forward, just tapping the stones.
Looks like the it looks like it. Why is it doing this? I keep trying to click the reveal area, and it instead hides the area more. And it's driving me vaguely insane. Okay. The
No, I guess
hallway
I'm going
continues
that
that way. Yeah, the hallway continues that way. As you begin tapping away that way, at one point you feel a chunk, and you look down and see that one of the rocks has just moved to the side slightly and made a small ka-chunk sound. Just as Doric has opened the coffin on the inside and sort of the stone falls to the side. Glancing in, well, he's an ugly looking motherfucker, ain't he? What do you think?
Hey, Doric, this stone moved when you opened that.
Oh, did it now? Why, it's and reaching out from the coffin, just a hand just like crumbs out, grabs Doric, and just sort of pulls him into the coffin. The coffin's lid seals back up.
Well, this may not be where we're supposed to be. Gonna go ahead. Start walking backwards.
Grom immediately is like, what? No, brother! And he goes up and sort of like starts trying to push the thing off, and he's going to go ahead and make a strength check. Succeeds in pulling the coffin aside, and just blood splatters up out of the coffin. No! No! God! And the coffin manages to close as he recoils. What are you guys doing?
Jeez.
I don't think we should be here.
Well,
What
I don't-
happened?
I just look
You
at
don't need to know, buddy.
Diero. Grom's or Doric is most likely dead.
Now, I'm no doctor, but that much blood outside the body typically results in
It sort of vomits on the ground besides the coffin. The coffin is sort of like rumbling slightly, and after a moment or two, it just sort of like stops,
So you'd say
and
that
the room falls silent.
it just blender bottled that Doric.
Rick is gonna go put his hand on Grom's shoulder and try to console him. Just a little bit.
Just moved a stone. Why would? Who made what?
Well.
You guys hear a voice from behind you.
Who is that?
It's me, Bobby the Bob.
You turn around and you see this
Bobby
goblin.
the Bob. Oh my
This
lord.
covered in fishing lures. Just has like bobbers all over him.
Oh my lord.
He's missing an ear, and has another ear pointed out the other side, as most people do have two ears.
Yeah, let's work our way into why he's named Bobby the Bob.
He's got a beard. He's got a beard that's just like cut off, and it's like it's one of those beard that like looks like fucking anal beads.
Dude, bruh.
Just like
Yo.
Yo,
just like the circles, you know, it's like a circle and then a tide off it, and then a circle.
we're good. We're good. You could have just said just said a bobble beard. That's okay.
I don't.
Oh,
Because
that's
you know with the
hilarious.
whole with the whole fishing thing, bobbles. I don't know.
Yeah, no. But just like Bob's, you know. So he looks at you.
Come on.
Welcome to my humble home. I don't wish to disturb you, but since you've bothered my pet, and now I must bother you. What brings you here, and why must you trouble me? I'm a very busy goblin.
Rick is gonna check the photo, see if this is the guy we're looking for.
It's very clearly the guy you're looking for. there are very few goblins that A, have a full beard like he does, and B, are missing a full ass ear and covered in bobbers.
I feel like the bobbers would have been a dead giveaway. Just saying.
Well, you know, gotta be certain.
Well, Bob.
We've got something we need to ask you.
Oh, you got something to ask, Bobby the Bobber? Well, what can I do for you, huh? You want some apples?
No, we're not bobbing for apples.
Oh, he's a smart guy.
Did Max freeze?
Oh no, sorry. I just
That joke got to you too?
yeah.
Yeah. You're not alone, buddy.
Yeah. Someone want to take it over for a second?
We're here to find somebody.
Seems you have taken our client's servant? Handmaiden?
So you're here for the pretty girl.
Not only that, but yeah, I've heard that you've also racked up quite a tab at Pumpkin Seed. Those debts need to be repaid.
Are you telling me that woman is still...
He like bursts out in anger, then goes,
I told her she's got to break up with her husband before I come back.
She did.
She already did.
She
What?
did do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
that was
We
very
talked to her.
She's waiting for you.
Yeah.
okay, actual pause. Did she say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I just want to make sure that I did say that because I'm pretty sure I did. I just
Yeah,
want to make sure.
no, you said that.
That
Okay,
made
cool.
the plot point easier.
Yeah, no. It's
Whoa,
just,
what?
no. I was just wondering if you're gonna roll persuasion or deception, and that's a persuasion. Who is yeah? Roll persuasion. One of you guys,
Oh,
Sure.
because you all sort of said that at the same time. Two of you done. So as the two of you, the goblin's just like,
well, huh? You know, I never thought of actually settling down and giving up the Bob. Huh?
Well, it sounds like now's the time, Bob.
You know what? You're right. Just got one thing to do before I go.
And that's kill
Which
you.
is
I'll give you back the lady you're looking for.
he claps, and the walls open up here.
Where's here? Oh,
Up to the north.
Up here.
Yeah. And my map is being dumb, and I have too many things open, so excuse me as I close some tabs so I can do this properly. Yeah, open up over here. And he's like,
Well, I don't wish to keep anything from you. You know, I just want to make sure that the goods are delivered properly. Look, Bobby the Bob's got a reputation to maintain, even in retirement. So here you go. There's your woman, and I'll throw in an extra 2 for free. How's that sound?
We'll take it.
Wonderful. And as you turn around to see like the things opening and falling out of there are these zombified corpses. One of them was once a woman, missing half of her chest, Her arm is sort of like sewn back on in like the middle part, sort of where the appendix would be. And they're just sort of like these horrific like monstrosities shambling forward. One of them is sort of like a large male figure that has like had his like pecs replaced with his thigh muscles, and then it's like all just mixed up stuff. It's not looking cool. And they move like these weird shambling hunks as they move forward. Look, Bobby the Bob always goes fishing for men.
Wait, are you what? Are you...
Are you
Look,
coming
it's
out
not a
with us?
perfect metaphor.
Just to make sure, so I don't have to like torture you or anything. That the girl we're looking for, that is her, right? She's
oh
not.
yeah, yes, no, that's her, and she's
Okay,
going
it's not
to-
like you're not keeping her somewhere else that we'd have to
no,
like
no,
torture you to figure
no.
out.
I've got more of them, but these I figure actually wait.
And he claps twice more, and another one comes out from around the corner.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah. No, these should be good for you. Yeah. In the meantime, I've got a woman to go talk to, so these are for you. I've got a wife to marry. So have a nice day.
And he goes to leave.
Well, I'm in the other room, so I can't.
You guys, yeah. So he goes to leave. Does anyone make move to stop him?
Oh, he leaves.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
leaving.
He's like walking away.
Are the other things like attacking us?
They're sort of just like standing there, like shambling, sort of staring at you. Not like moving aggressively. They're just sort of like standing, waiting.
Oh,
They do moan softly, like.
Okay, well, bye, Bob the. Oh God.
He's not my mark, so
I guess.
So Bobby the Bob walks out. And as soon as he leaves your vision, all of the zombies rush forward and attack.
So we roll initiative.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not good, and I'm gonna die.
woo. Mm.
Well, I can say that things have taken a turn. Allow me to roll initiative.
Ooh.
What is going on here with these rolls?
Do these count as humanoids?
Let me check. They count as undead. Depends on the spell.
Favored enemy.
Well, humanoid, you have to
So
pick
it's-
what kind of humanoid.
Beast, Fey, not in revised. They lumped them all together, so it's not.
Oh, really? Just
yeah.
any humanoid.
Yeah, so it's beast, Fey, humanoids, monstrosities, or undead. Okay, so the undead is a separate one.
Undead is a separate one. There you go.
Okay.
There's your answer to that question. And now I've got to roll for changeling, and I got to roll for
Ron, because Doric is dead.
So, top of the round, Sam Shepard. It's the zombies all. I will say that with their surprise, it's not like you saw them. They're not like surprising you, but with their surprise, I will say they can move forward and use their movement to close the distance in on you guys. Also, just something clear: this is about 5-foot drop, and the stairs are over here. If you
Okay.
really want to use them, so there's like a 5-foot drop on this blue texture as opposed to the gray texture.
Shove.
Yeah. So they're gonna rush forward. Like he's gonna get stuck behind because zombies aren't smart. He's gonna rush forward. They're both gonna rush forward on him. So Sam, what you gonna do?
Oh God. Oh geez. All right, let's do this. I'll kind of step next to my boy here, Edwin. Have at ye, creature. Hiya!
That'll hit.
Rapier of protecting the weak and killing the bad guys.
That'll hit.
Since he is within 5 feet of another enemy, I will be getting my sneak attack damage in as well. Have
Go
at
for it.
the
12 points of damage as you rush forward and stab straight through the zombie's chest. The way the muscles have been moved around, you're not quite sure. But you stab through the biggest part of it, and it just sort of splots out some guts onto the ground as you sort of the rapier flicks outward. Looks like it's taking some damage. Does not react at all. Just continues.
I do not like this. I've
So-
already been shot.
So Sam, that's your go. It is now your turn.
Hero.
Rick.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, Rick. No, it's Rick. Sorry.
it would be me.
That's
Yeah.
Rick.
So I'm gonna shoot my longbow at that guy right down there. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, that
assume
will hit. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna go in. Pew!
As you reach down, the arrow just sort of like and it hits the shoulder, and the one arm just sort of flings off, spirals through the air, and is pinned to the wall on the other side of the room.
Nice.
Deal a significant portion of the damage to that zombie. So that was your go, and Edwin, down to you.
All right.
Oh shit, I missed for this.
We're gonna go ahead and try to give the bop. Oof. No one saw that roll. Oh wait, am I still blessed?
No, that
No,
goes away
That's for
after.
a minute.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
can I
lasts
have
for
an
like.
owl token.
Oh yes, you can.
Okay, well. So then I guess I'll do it again as a bonus action. That hit?
The second I'm giving Andrew an owl.
Oh.
I believe it should.
That does shit. That does hit.
That does
Actually,
shit?
wait. Actually, wait. Yes, it does. Actually, wait. Pause. That 9 also hits.
Oh, nice. Okay. That and then that.
Yeah. So boom, boom. The first hit knocks the zombie's head, like cracks the neck. The second one, the head falls backward and off.
Nice. But it doesn't die, probably.
So it's going to make a
Oh, hi, Fear.
5 plus damage taken. So it just rolls a d20. So it took 9 points of damage. So as the head falls back, you watch as the hand jumps backward, grabs the head, and puts it back on its head.
Oh. Okay.
These two zombies down there. Or is that your go?
That's all I got. Wait, I can move. I'm gonna back up.
Please don't leave me.
I'm just backing up a
So
little
as
bit.
you back up, the zombie gets an attack of opportunity.
Okay. Nope.
Misses. Goes to slam. Misses. These two zombies down here are gonna slam against this thug.
You mean
Both attacks
Grom?
missing. You know, his name. He has a name that's not Thug.
Yeah, his name's Grom. Remember him, because he probably dies soon, just like Doric.
There we go. Both attacks misses. Grom with the battle axe out, crying. Brother just straight up liquefied.
Yeah,
As these two zombies now. This one is just gonna rush forward towards you. And this one behind it is going to go for Sam. So the first attack is for Shifter Boy, Edwin.
Nay.
Second attack is for Sam.
Ah. No.
Okay. It's the zombies. And I will say the one that is currently attacking you, Sam, I'm going to mark it, is the woman.
Wait, so have we identified her as the one that we need?
I mean, it's the one the goblin said was the woman.
Yeah, well,
It is also the only clearly female zombie.
freaking bobber.
Yeah. So that's them. Diero, it's your turn.
Oh boy. Well, I know that Sam's pretty hurt, so I'm just gonna, pop my head over and blast the one that's pretty close to him. Oh. Yes.
Daniel?
Jamie's frozen for me.
Oh, he froze.
Uh-oh.
I'm
But
just gonna
yes,
assume it hits.
That hits. Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, frozen again.
Nope, he's frozen again.
Am I?
He's back.
I'm disconnecting.
Oh,
Oh, he's.
I'm a
he's-
robot.
Okay.
Am I
we can
back?
hear you.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
good.
you're back.
Kind of.
No, you're
Yeah,
back.
good.
Ma.
You're back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ram! You shoot that ray of frost out, and it spirals around.
Yeah. I'm back.
Yeah.
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 And then
So-
I'm gonna shield of faith my companion, Sam.
Cool. So Sam, your AC goes up by 2.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cool. And just for my clarity, Diero, was that against the zombie closest to you or the one with the red dot?
Red dot.
Cool. So it takes 2 points of frost damage.
Oh,
It's slowed.
And it's slowed?
Well, I think it's
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Fun facts.
It's reduced by 10 feet until my next turn.
You know, it was not fast to begin with.
Yep.
So as that happens, the changeling Nephestus, or Nephi,
Nephi.
as you guys have been calling,
Nephi.
is going to grab a couple more daggers from his belt. He has a
Oh.
lot of daggers.
Oh no.
And is going to go ahead and try and chuck it at the nearest one.
He's gonna throw it right through my head. Oh no.
It hits right. It whizzes right by, and you just feel it just like shave 2 hairs off of your ear. As it right in the zombie's head. The zombie then has to make a undead fortitude save with a DC of 8. Succeeds. The second dagger spirals into the same head. Or he's attempting to throw it into the same head, I should say.
Woof.
Bruh.
And I'm going to say it hits actually in the way that the characters are currently stacked. It would hit. Actually, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. I know your names. Yes, your name. Diero. Yeah, so you managed to just like as you see the first one whiz by, so you glance back just as the second one's like whizzing towards you, and you move you have a staff, right?
Sure.
Do you have a staff? No,
I have
you
a mail.
don't.
What?
Sure.
What do you mean you don't know? Do you have one or not?
I don't.
It's a
know.
weapon.
You don't. Okay. So in that case, I'll describe it differently. You see the dagger flying towards you, and you're just like, huh! And just like with a brief like use of mage hand, just like flip it away.
Right into Edwin.
Right into Edwin. No. Sorry. And then
turn.
after his turn, it's the owl's turn.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Fly. Pester this thing.
So it uses its action. What is it doing?
It's gonna help out Sam or distract the female
Cool.
zombie. Yeah. Go Franklin.
So Franklin goes to Pester. It
You
is
now
now
have
top of the
advantage.
round. Sam Shepard, you have advantage on striking that zombie.
What do we want to do about this one? Do we want?
Shouldn't we
Protect it.
restrain it?
I swing at it with my rapier.
I said restrain, not murder.
Restrain, rapier.
7
Oh,
points of
no.
damage.
City Watch, they're all the same.
It takes damage. You stab it right
just like in the shoulder. You're just giving it. It's hard to tell what's actually damaging these creatures. There's just sort of like, is their structural integrity still intact? As you're just sort of stabbing weapon, doesn't so much look like it deals as much damage as other weapons do.
Believe it or not, our manuals don't cover what to do when people we're supposed to save are been turned into zombies.
Keep forgetting to loop the combat music.
Ah!
So that's your go, Sam. Rick, it's up to you.
I'm just gonna hit this one again with another arrow.
Please work.
Oh. Does a 12 hit this zombie?
Yes, it does.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Boing!
He cursed me that. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. So 10 points of damage. So the zombie now has to make a DC 15 check, which it fails. The arrow pins it, and the zombie just like is now like pinned to the ground, as the weakness of the zombie's flesh and the strength of the arrow pin it to the hard, cold stone, dead.
Yeah.
Good work there, Chief.
Why aren't you working, music? I'm so mad.
I hear the music.
You can hear the music?
Yeah.
Indeed, there is music.
Oh, you're making it louder? Now it's quieter?
Well, okay, I guess I just am forbidden from hearing music. As long as it's happening. I know. I was like, oh, I'm ready to be hype. Yeah, I'm just like, this is all happening in dead silence. Edwin, it's your turn.
Shit.
That actually misses. The second one hits though, dealing 4 points of bludgeoning damage. As the zombie, you just knock the head off, and it just grabs it again and puts it back on. You keep batting the head off.
Back
and
up
it
a
just
little bit
keeps
more.
putting it back on. Where are you moving?
I backed up a little bit more.
Oh, you're backing up more? Okay. So you're sort of like leading it backwards.
Yeah.
Cool. That is your turn. Is now these two. Well, this zombie's dead. It's now this zombie's turn. It's going to slam as it goes to grab, and smash. 13. I do not believe hits this thug. Oh no, it definitely hits the thug.
Grom.
Yes, it hits Grom.
With 2 M's.
Grom takes 5 points of damage as the claws of the zombie just sort of rake across his skin and blood pours across his tear-filled face.
Wow.
Grom's turn now. As Grom, battle axe in hand, goes and is going to go ahead and, as a bonus action, the Grom gains a +2 bonus to the damage roll of the next melee weapon attack it hits within the next minute. And is going to go ahead and make his 2 attacks. I think actually both of those hit. Yeah, both of those hit. +2 to 10 points of damage, and then 3 points of damage, so 13 points of damage against this zombie, as the axe just lops into the side, breaking the hip, and the zombie is now sort of like a kilter. That torso falls to the side, and his arms are limp as he's sort of scratching against Grom still. It's like at a weird right angle, the zombie is fighting still. Zombie's up top. This zombie, being harried by an owl, I don't think the zombie's smart enough to fight the owl. Zombie's going to attack Sam.
Oh.
Well, a 19 hits you.
How do ties work?
So
This
it
is
just
with the
hits
+2?
you. With the +2, it just hits you. Dealing 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
Uh-oh. We're level 1.
Are you still up?
I'm alive.
Oh,
Okay.
once I see him get hit, Danny,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Vigilant Guardian and switch places with him.
Oh.
Within 5 feet of you.
Aww. Aww.
Oof.
I can't read.
Yeah, that's 10
This is a
feet.
mighty big crypt.
Yeah. It's what?
I said this is a mighty big crypt.
Yep. As the zombie's claws sink into you, the arrow already like taking some damage out of you. You just like feel yourself teetering on the edge of this 5-foot drop that now feels like 20. As that zombie, the other zombie's still attacking Edwin. Is gonna rush forward and continue.
Oh.
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as the zombie sort of like claws and just like hitting against you. And it sort of goes and grabs and bites a hold of your arm a little bit and just sort of gnaws angrily.
Oh, boy.
5 points of damage. I'll say this is the one with the head that keeps coming off. That just takes the head and just reaches out with it and bites you with it. Diero, it's your turn as you watch this zombie head just sort of like munching on your boy Edwin, and then you see Sam teetering just like near unconsciousness.
Oh, that's not good. Oh no. I mean, God,
Please do something.
it only affects creatures. I don't think they're creatures, right, Dan?
What do you mean they're creatures?
Other
these-
characters?
Other characters are creatures.
Oh, never mind. I don't do that. That's not what it says in the rule book. Okay.
Yes, it.
Oh,
They're
never mind. Yeah, it's the second one. I misread that.
Easier
Okay.
for 2 for reading.
Yeah.
Just coming from the guy who talks about books all game.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Ray of Frost, same one.
Yes.
That does hit for sure. 7 points of cold damage as the zombie now even slower, just is like goes to continue to slam. I
I am gonna do. Oh, I'm gonna tell my
do-
owl to grab the head. Oh, hey Franklin, like if the head pops up again, just grab it and fly away.
Okay. Changeling's turn as he grabs his last 2 daggers. He only had 6. And is going to go ahead and ranged weapon attack the nearest one.
Oh, my lord.
Full dexterity saving throw, Edwin.
No.
You dodge out of the way, and I'll say, for the sake of this, it actually you dodge out of the way, and it would have hit the back of your head, but instead falls through, and I'll give it advantage, and make it hit.
Oh,
Because
thank
I think that makes sense thematically. Like, it would have hit you, but you dodge it, so it does go straight through you, and you're right in line with the zombie. Boom!
Ah.
Right in the chest.
There we go. Good.
As the Changeling's dagger does actually deal damage. 6 points of piercing damage. And the zombie, the dagger goes into the chest, the head, it picks the head up and like looks down at the dagger in the chest, looks back up at you, and continues to come towards you.
I
Second
didn't
dagger.
even do it.
And you're just the one that's closest to it. Second dagger.
Oh.
God. Wow.
Make another dexterity saving.
This is
that is the DC I set it as. So you do once again dodge out of the way. The second dagger still hitting with a 16.
God
Why am I
bless.
rolling initiative for him?
Stop throwing daggers at the back of my head.
This can't.
But it's working so well.
This campaign's scuffed from the get-go.
The zombie
This is a
takes
one-shot.
another dagger in the chest, and the dagger looks at the other dagger. It now basically has like fucking nipple clamps coming out of his chest. It just looks up. The head, nonplussed, continues to attack. The owl at this point, seeing the head in the hand, was going to go fly over and attempt to grab it and fly away. So go ahead and make a strength or athletics check for the owl.
As you, Diero.
Oh God.
Yeah, because you're an owl.
The owl?
Yeah. He's trying to pull the head out of the
Alright.
zombie's hand.
Well, here we go. It's -4.
So the owl is now sort of holding onto the head, and the zombie is sort of holding onto the head, holding onto the owl. So it's just like this weird leash thing as the zombie is now sort of being drawn away by the owl, just like who is harrying it and sort of pulling it to the side a little bit.
Invokes attack of
proud.
opportunity?
No, forced movement doesn't invoke attack of opportunity. Sam, it's your turn.
Sam is now surrounded by
God,
zombies.
jeez. Just please stop.
That will hit.
Go away.
It does. As you stab it straight in the chest and just sort of slash in half, the zombie falls into 2 parts. And just as you're like, oh, thank God it's dead, its arm reaches up towards
Oh
your
my
foot
lord.
and collapses to the ground.
Oh,
Dead.
thank God.
This woman is now in 2 pieces. By
That's
the way.
fine. We'll just carry her back.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
And the other zombie has now got the head beside you, and just like one of the eyes lolls and looks at you.
Samuel, away.
Samuel, away.
You missed, you step out of there. That's funny. Yeah, so that's your go. You watch as Samuel basically just smoke bombs and disappears. Rick, you watch one of the other zombies falls dead. What would you like to do?
So I'm gonna look around me. I'll see. This one's still up, I'm guessing.
Yes.
It's currently like holding an owl via its head, but yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna shoot at it, cause that's the one between me and the door.
Go for it. That'll hit. It's a zombie.
Cool.
7 points of piercing damage. That is just enough as the zombie. You just you just shoot the arrow and it hits the head, and the head also pinned to the wall. You just pin in a lot of things to walls. Is the head your boy's dead.
God, I love killing zombies.
Edwin, you watch as the zombie in front of the head pinned to the wall, the zombie body collapses. What would you like to do?
Well, gonna go ahead and
Oh, my brother!
I'm gonna head this way,
What you hear? Yeah.
and I'm gonna be like, well, we can't leave Grom. So let's see. So I was here, so there.
Yeah, you're good.
All right.
You
so
can
I-
you can just get up there.
I'll run up and I'll just be like, time to go.
That hits. Also hits. 12 points of bludgeoning damage as rolls the undead fortitude, and it fails as you just and just like hit. This is the one with the weird pecs. You just hit both pecs, and the pecs slide off like flapjacks. I'm just sort of spin into the wall and splat.
Ew.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific.
Pull out a rag and wipe my hands down.
Excuse me as I have to move it to access the token menu. Okay, and at that point, I guess I'll stop the music I can't hear.
All right. Back to just like eerie music, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, as the zombies all collapse dead, or rather more dead than they were, the owl and just sort of sits on top of the zombie and just sort of like takes a little step and pecks a little bit at the meat, spitting it back up.
Well, I guess let's take the 2 halves of the zombie. Or do we explore and see if there's the actual, hostage is here?
Yes, are we sure this is the woman?
I don't know. Is there a description on that paper there, Sam?
Well, let me take a look. See here. Handmaiden, daughter. I mean, there's no physical description. There's no way we can't say for certain that this is not the woman, but at the same time, there's no way we, for sure, you know what I mean.
We're here. We might as well do our due diligence.
I would hate to come back with the corpse of a woman and it be the wrong woman.
All right, well, I pull out my staff
That
and
would be quite embarrassing.
I'll start tapping the ground.
Oh, can anybody help out Sam? He seems a little hurt.
Shot
Nope.
and slapped. To be honest, I've seen better days.
Yes, you
Unfortunately,
look
no one
like
here
you
can help.
are near death.
Well, what do we suggest we do?
We could bunker down and take a moment to recover.
Yeah, I mean, we got rid of the immediate danger. We could probably bunker in the antechamber back in the main entrance.
Yes, just hope that no one comes by for an hour or two.
I'm gonna move over here and
Brahm, you should come this way.
you
Brahm
mean-
is sort of
you
just
mean
like
Grom?
staring at the. Sure.
Grum is just sort of staring at the coffin, just sort of blankly.
I do not think you will find any respite in here, Grom.
But he's in there. He's in the coffin. He's in there.
There's blood across Grom's face.
For
God.
No, Grom, no!
As Grom rushes towards the coffin to try and like pull it open again.
Grom, stop!
No, Grom.
Grom rushes forward and tries to. I would say Ranger Rick, if you see him do this, you could try and stop him if you
Yeah,
roll an
yeah,
acrobatics
I'm gonna-
check
Yeah.
to try and like jump down and get to him.
Jesus,
You
my
jump
lord,
down just a
garbage.
second to. Actually, I'll make him roll too. I'll make him roll athletics, which is for him just strength.
Oh.
Yeah, you get down just a second too late as he rushes forward and pushes the stone tablet aside, and inside just this pool of like shifting blood bubbles, and he's like, What is this? Where's my brother?" It takes the axe and just sort of chucks it in. I mean, I guess at this point you can get to him before he can do something else. Is there anything you want to do, Rick?
Yeah, I'm gonna like try to just grapple him and pull him back.
Make a athletics check.
Oh lord, this ray fails to grapple and falls into the coffin.
No! No! It sort of pushes you off and just sort of like uses the axe, just splashes the blood against the wall. Trying to like try and like scoop out blood from this coffin. As the surface of the blood breaks, then another arm just sort of reaches out and goes to grab him. I won't secret roll this like I secret rolled the last one. Still fails. He fails as the arm grabs him, and he's going to go ahead in his second of chance. Go ahead and make an attack to try and hit it since he has his weapon out. He does hit it, lopping the arm off. As the arm breaks off, it's still latched onto his chest. As you are able to now pull him back, Rick. As he's like, he's currently suffocating as the arm is like clenching down, and like even though it's decapitated. What do you call it when an arm's cut off?
Dismembered.
Dismembered.
Dismembered. Even though it's dismembered, it's still clenching down on his windpipe.
I'll try to pry it off.
Yeah.
Pull
You
it
sort
off.
of go. Yeah, you go and rip it off, and it does. What's your strength score?
The modifier is 1.
Okay. So you are able to pull it off ever so carefully, and by carefully I mean just with a lot of prying, as you just sort of like wrench it off of his neck and chuck it just to the side. The arm, left with a mind of its own, skitters and just like its fingernails scrape against the floor as it climbs up the side of the wall and into a hole in the ceiling.
This place is creepy.
Yes, it certainly is. The coffin closes as the stone, like a yo-yo, comes back and closes as the boom echoes throughout the room once more. I think that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yeah, and I'll adjust my backpack against the wall right there and use it as a pillow.
Yep. So you guys can take a. We'll say this is a short rest for when we get back. But it is a good place to stop for now, and get back into the rest of this strange crypt when we return.
Yeah, next week Monday.
Ooh.
See what happens to Bobby the Bob.
Bobby the Bob.
Bobby the Bob. Oh my gosh. Thank
we
y'all
wanna-
for tuning.
You
Are
want to
there
do
people
experience?
watching?
Yeah, there's people watching.
Dude, that's dope. I have no idea. I don't have it up.
That's fine.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Eventually I'll figure out what a finishing sentence is.
Finish him.
Finish him. Tune back in next week to see what happens in the daring adventures of this unnamed group of random strangers that is currently in a.
You could just say,
horrific
come back
dungeon.
for Forging the Cogs of War, episode 2.
Oh yeah, come
There you
back
go,
for
buddy.
Forging the Cogs of War, episode 2.
That is not
A name I made up in like 30 seconds.
Very nice.
All right, guys, I'll be right back.